This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Welcome everybody to X&C Podcast, episode 215, and we're back. We are back. Dead heat in the middle of the summer for us, and a lot's been going on. And if you were here and watched the show, Mag was gone. We had Paris Lilly cover in and be the guest co-host. We had a great show. And the week before that, That Blue Number and Dante joined us because Mag had to leave, and I thought maybe you could catch everybody up on what you feel comfortable with sharing. But everyone asked millions of questions. They were hitting me up. The whole world was asking for you. Most of them were guys, a couple of girls, but still there were people asking. One guy with really long hair. So.
Okay. Well, that's all right. It's very much like prison. It's okay. Just don't look at the face. Okay, so this is what happened. So about, 30 minutes into the show a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
And my phone's going off like mad, right? And I'm looking at it, and the number said like V-10 blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, whatever, it's a spam number. So actually, I left the ringer on, and so I grabbed the phone in the middle of the show, and I threw it, right? So because I didn't want it to come through the microphone while we're doing XNC. So I'm looking over at the side, and it rings again. And I look again, and it rings again, and it rings again. And I'm like, these guys don't stop. What are you trying to sell me? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, would you like to buy some Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever? And like, It wasn't one of those. And I looked in the corner, and you know how you can get like the voice message goes to to text message? And I saw my name, and it said, hey, Anthony, blah, blah. Yeah, that's my real name, by the way. And it says, hey, Anthony, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like going, wait a minute. If it's a scam, this sound doesn't sound like a scam. It sounds like someone reaching out. So I went off the air for like 2 seconds, grabbed the phone, and then I listened to the message, and it's like, your wife had a serious medical emergency on the train on the way back to Toronto, blah, blah, blah. They had to stop the train and get an ambulance out to her, and they shot her off to Toronto General Hospital, this and that. I'm like, what the heck? So I came back on here with you, and I'm like, I gotta go. And I literally jumped in my car, dropped my kids off at 9 o'clock at night at a neighbor's house, and I raced to the city, and I had suspected it was her appendix. I'm like, it's probably your appendix.
How long was the drive into the city to go to the hospital?
Oh, it was only 45 minutes because there was nobody on the road heading to the city at 9 o'clock on a Monday.
Though.
Oh, yeah. I was driving really fast. So, anyways, get down there. And I'll keep this short, folks, because we're here to talk about video games. But
everybody wants to know. It's fine, man.
So they're like, I think it's your appendix. They did an ultrasound. They're like, yeah, it's your appendix. We're going to have to do an operation today, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And so they're like, all right. So we set up the things, sign the waivers. They take her upstairs, and she's in that line of all the gurneys lining up like a car wash. Of all the gurneys waiting to go to the operating room, right? All of a sudden, she starts screaming. And it was like, I'm right there, right? So she starts screaming, and whole body is convulsing. And
shaking, she's sitting next to you in the...
Well, she's lying down in the gurney, and I'm like, and I said, what the F is going on? And then before I could even say more than that, 6 people came rushing in, shoved me out of the way. They're like, you got to get out of the way. It was like that friggin' show. What the hell's the one that all the girls watch? The medical show. No, not ER.
Grey's Anatomy?
Grey's Anatomy. It was like Grey's Anatomy. And they shoved me out of the way. They're like, you need to get out of the way. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what's happening? And then they're all sticking things in her and all this stuff. And and then one of the guys, he comes over and the surgeon goes, now. And then they threw everybody else out of the way. And so they moved her, and then she leaned over the side. And just before they grabbed her, wheeled her away, she said to me, she goes, I'm dying. And
what?
And I'm like, oh, stop it. I mean, meanwhile, I'm like, oh, stop it. Don't worry. I'm like, come on, honey. They're going to take care of you. It's all good. And boom, they take her off. Little did I know that she was dying. So her vitals were failing. Everything was so there's that weird thing where people talk about it and they're like, yeah, your body knows. It's like your heart, your mind, your soul knows when you're dying. When you see in movies, they're like, my body is broken. I'm dying, Maximus. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. But she said that.
That was a pretty good impression of
Yeah. I'm dying, Maximus. You must lead Rome. So anyhow, so there's that, and then they wheeled her away. Little did I know that was actually happening. So the surgery was supposed to be an hour. 4.5 hours later, I'm like pacing like this in the room, whatever.
And what time was it? You got to tell them what time you got to the hospital, and then what time you were in like limbo.
It was 10 o'clock at PM. They didn't call me till 2 p.m. the next day. I was still standing in there, freaking the F out. Like that's
overnight until the afternoon, or overnight 2 a.m.
2 p.m. the next day, I was still in there, standing around, like pacing back and forth. And so they finally did whatever they had to do. She was in. They told me about her vitals. Everything was dropping to fatal levels. She almost didn't make it. Her appendix did burst inside and cause sepsis. So sepsis is a blood infection. If anybody doesn't know what that is, it's extremely fatal. And so they managed to save her. They stuck a tube, dude. They stuck a 12-inch tube in her jugular vein straight to her heart to pump it with antibiotics. No. Dude, it was messed up.
To get it immediately in there. Holy smokes!
Yeah, to get it immediately. It was bad. When they put, what was even worse? Watching them pull that tube out, bro. It was like a horror movie. Anyhow. So that goes on. She was in ICU. She was out, so they wouldn't even let me see her. When I finally got to see her, she was covered in wires and things poked in her and all this shoot. And then they had a nurse like this, like staring at her like for like 24 hours a day, like this, at the end of the bed on a desk with all her vitals, like on the monitors and stuff. And she would her job was to watch her, not go around and do the rounds. It was literally just to stare at her. So I was there all week. So obviously I missed XNC, and then they were there all week. She's been recovering. She's got another 6 weeks recovery. But dude, it was this close, man. And I use this as a platform for gaming, and this is why I did this. I did my little video, and I said, guys, send your well wishes to my wife. Thanks to the almost 18,000, I'm not kidding, 18,000, I counted, people that sent out well wishes to not only me and my family, and to my wife and all that. And I use it as a platform for gaming, and I'm like, you know what, man? Literally 10 minutes before that phone rang, we're arguing, not me and you, but like people, right. We're on the show. We're arguing about if Spider-Man's coming to PS5, who's a fraud, who's a this, who's a that, or sorry, like Spider-Man's going to Xbox, sorry. And you get a call like that while you think the most important thing in the world is that 2018 Spider-Man might come to the series consoles. And that was the most important thing. And then when your phone rings, and you get a message like that, you're like, you realize what's really important in this world. And that's what I was trying to say in my message was, it wasn't for sympathy. It wasn't for any of that. I was just trying to point out that the most important things in the world, this should be fun for us. You see these cabinets back there? These cabinets are fun. They bring, memories of my childhood, of the wonderful times of walking in the Wizard's Castle arcade and playing all these games, Mortal Kombat, and all the other ones that I've got here, and even Big Buck Hunter, getting wasted with my friends in the pub playing that game, and we had so much fun in all those years, and that's what this gaming should be now.
And you met your wife, or one of the first things you and your wife played was that Buck Hunter game, wasn't it?
Big Buck Hunter. We used to play Big Buck Hunter every week, and so like you think about that, and you're like, we should be having fun doing this stuff, not killing each other, and you know what I mean? Like about all this nonsense. I mean, this is what we do. Like we enjoy it; it's our passion, but man. When you get that call, and then you think about this stuff, you're like, this is the stuff, like the gaming and these consoles and PCs and whatever you do, that's supposed to take us away from all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense? Like, that's supposed to take us away from the realities of life, not make our lives miserable and screaming at each other on podcasts and Twitter and whatever else. Like, that's crazy. Let's have fun, man. And on that note, is Xbox doomed this week? So what's going on?
Of course it is. I've thought about a lot what you said. I always think about that. And I see people lash out when they make it personal, or they harass someone, or they sock them, that it's pretty likely they're using that as a distraction from their regular real life problems that may not be like emergent like yours. Like yours was 5 consecutive phone calls while you're doing a live show, and you have to like stop me from talking so that you can take the call, right? And that's like a gut punch, an absolute gut punch. But there are things that go on in our lives, like our job sucks sometimes, or a job really sucks that week, or you're having a personal problem in a relationship, and I've watched people lash out in the console war as a distraction or I don't know what the word is, but a diversion of what you have to deal with. And I know someone personally who was really going through some difficult times and was really lashing out about video game stuff. And I was like, I don't think this is about video games. He's like, yeah, it's this personal problem I'm having at home, or it's this thing with my job. And, you know, I just vent my frustrations because I can yell at someone on the other side of the plastic console war. I see it all the time. And my wife was telling me, she's like, you know, you and Mag are always like, you know, don't insult people, you know, don't make it personal. And then she hears me say, small-minded amoeba dude in the chat, and she's like, knock it off, you know. Yeah, we have a lot of lessons to learn.
Someone asked me the other day, actually, why they're like, oh, I haven't seen you on Xbox forever or whatever else. And I'm like, actually, I was on there just the other day, and I was playing, forgive me, I was playing Resident Evil Village, and the reason why, hey, hold on a second, before you get excited, the reason why I went back to the Xbox version of the game is because, remember, I was missing that one darn achievement.
Oh yeah.
Of finishing all the mercenaries levels on double S and above.
Mm-hmm.
I did it.
You did it.
I did it. It took me 3 years of walking away from the game, and I'm like, I'm doing this. And I found that my girl, Lady Dimitrescu, has this like real sort of like hack where she picks up people and slams them into the ground like the Undertaker, and it kills them instantly. Doesn't matter the size of the character. It could even be the big werewolves. She just goes, and then just, that's it. Tombstone slams them right into the mat and then kills them instantly. And I'm like, holy crow, that's what you do. So I went in there and I got the achievement. And it was only worth 30 points, and it took me 3 years. But anyways, the reason why, he says, I don't see you online. And I said, I'm not going to lie to you, man. And I did tell him, I told him straight. I said, I've had people come after me so bad on the Xbox platform. I have wonderful people, by the way, that reach out to me every day. Shout out to Taco Chef Forever, who's listening to me right now. And he actually just sent me a message on my Xbox. And he's like, I appreciate you and this and that. And I'm like, dude, he's always here every week. Love you. And then, of course, I got a ton of people that reach out to me all the time on Xbox. And I said, I had to turn my status to offline because I have people who come online, catfish me in, and then just unleash on me. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, I can't, like, it was getting to the point, it was literal harassment. And I'm like, I'm not having fun. And so my friends who know me to be on whatever, I'll let them know. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be playing Call of Duty or whatever. Yeah. And I get on there, and some people will see me and whatever else. But for the most part, I had to turn it off. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I don't want to have to turn on Xbox. And first of all, I have a lot of people that reach out and like, yo, Mag's here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here. But there are people out there who are so nasty and so toxic and so aggressive that that I literally had to turn it on, and I haven't turned it on in months. I mean, I turned the Xbox on. I just turned my online status to off. But like, my God, like Call of Duty, boom, I'll turn it back on because I need to squad up with everybody and this and that, and we have great times. Actually, I'll do it for Gears of War as well. But you see what I'm getting at? Like, this is not the way we should be doing things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say,
I have to turn my status to. I'm not Brad Pitt. It's not because I'm so famous. I'm so famous that, you know, that it's not that. It's that I was getting harassed to the point where I'm like, this is not fun anymore. And I don't want to turn on a console and play a fun game and have some guy yelling at me.
I used to hide offline half the time, but sometime this past year, I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm never hiding offline again. I put a poll in the chat, like, what do you do mostly is what I mean. Like, vote what you most often do. Are you most often appearing online, or are you hiding offline? Because I'm going to go back to like 2021, 2022, maybe a little bit of 2023. I was talking to Red Wolf. I have all these mutual friends on Xbox that are like part of the chat here. They're part of friends that I hang out with at Xbox events, and they're just people I know. And there's this network of people where we would always be online and jumping into each other's parties and hanging out. And I was telling Red, over this past year, my Xbox Live friends list is absolutely dead. There are like the same 4 people online. There's no party going on. And all of the people I used to party chat with are not showing up on my friends list. And I feel like either no one's jumping on Xbox at all, which doesn't match the metrics that Xbox is bragging about right now, or everyone's hiding offline. I think that the whole speech you gave, that I think it's become customary for people to say, you know what, leave me alone. I want to play my game. And I get that if you're playing a single player game. Like Lord Attic from the Iron Lords will once in a while, he will put his status as do not disturb because he'll be playing something.
See that on yeah, I see that on Discord. There are some instances where I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to be showing to the public or whatever, so that I will turn I keep my status offline. But for the most part, it's not for good reasons, and I don't like that. I don't want to be like that. Yeah. It's not. I'm not being forced to be like that. But I kind of been like I've been backed into a corner, and I got a little. This is gonna sound like I'm gonna sound like such a pussy, but I've basically been PTSD'd from it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been PTSD'd from it, and I'm like, I don't want to be attacked while I'm trying to play games, and I'm not trying to turn my online gaming session into a podcast. It's okay that you ask questions. Like, people ask me questions, and I'm like, yeah, I answer whatever because I love talking to people and this and that. Same. And it's great. But then some people start turning it into a debate and an argument while I'm trying to play Call of Duty. And I'm like, dude, I can't argue with you about whatever while I'm in the middle of trying to listen to someone's footsteps because someone's running around the corner and I'm gonna blast them, right? So yeah. I'm like, I'm trying to play a game and have fun. And I mean, I'm not gonna have any fun with Gears of War because I suck. So it's gonna be an absolute massacre watching me play that game. But I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I've got a couple of people who have, they'll spam me party invites over and over. And I'm like, okay, I try not to let that bug me too much because the pop-up will come up over and over, and covers the bottom, chunk of the screen. And then I'll get the people who will send me repeated invites for Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto 5, or Minecraft. And what they'll do is they'll send, so-and-so wants to play Minecraft with you. Wants to play Minecraft. Wants to play Minecraft. Wants to play Minecraft. And within an hour, they'll be like 18. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to block you because you probably just would really like to hang out and play a game with me. But I'm in the middle of playing Redfall or whatever it is.
Jesus, I'd rather go back to Minecraft. Sorry. Hey,
no, I said Redfall because a lot of people have been.
I know. It's funny.
A lot of people have been saying great things about Redfall lately. I put up a poll on Twitter yesterday. Said, what was the biggest failure of the generation? We'll kind of break the ice with this.
I saw that. Yeah.
What was the biggest failure of this generation? I picked 4 games I thought were top of everyone's minds for failures this generation: Concord, Redfall, Mind's Eye, and Suicide Squad. So, yeah, Jay Glad 1986 wants to be my friend on Xbox. I just got that in there. Thank you. If you're watching, that's why you sent that. That's awesome. Thank you so much. What was what do you think the biggest failure is, and what would your answer be? Why, Meg? What do you think?
First of all,
or do you have another entry?
No. Before we get it into the actual show, which we're doing right now, I saw 1 million people already in the chat saying, "Hey Meg, hey Meg, hey Meg." I just want to say hello to everybody like this because there's no way I could keep up with everybody and all your support and love, man. It's absolutely astounding how loved we felt, and even my wife, lying in that hospital bed, I showed her all the comments and I even read them out to her, and she's like, "I can't believe that." So, anyways, I just want to say thank you there, and say hi to everybody in the chat.
I wanted to ask you a long time ago when we were talking about everything as it was settling in. How is she doing, like, right now? Like, how's she feeling? How are her spirits?
Spirits are decent. She's up, like, standing and, like, minor bit of walking, but, like, she's got another 6 weeks because they had to cut her in 4 places to clean everything out.
Into 4 pieces?
Well, yeah, they cut her into 4 pieces, and I got to put her back together. If anybody's got some Gorilla Glue... Yeah, well, she's going to look like a Picasso painting when I'm done with her. Listen, if anybody's got any Gorilla Glue and some duct tape, come over to the house. We're going to put her back together like Humpty Dumpty. It'll be all great. You
guys, you had a vacation that was launching right before she had this medical emergency, and you told me she was able to join you guys and kind of
for a couple days
enjoy the vacation, right?
Yeah, her mother, well, she didn't really do much, but we took her away so that she could be like, just kind of sit somewhere. And then I took the kids away, and her family came and stayed at my house to help her with recovery. And so she wanted an empty house. She says, "Go without me. I want an empty house with no noise." Because you know how the kids are. My son's playing Fortnite going, right? And then my daughter's watching that murder drones, full blast, on YouTube and this and that. And I'm like, she just like, get them the hell out of the house. I need like 4 or 5 days by myself. So she joined us for the last 2 days. My mother-in-law took her up, and we were just up north. So it's not like we went to some resort or she had to get on a plane. She wouldn't be able to do that. So she kind of carted her up there so that she got a change of scenery for 2 days, and then we took her back home. And now she's back home. Now, the poll. That was quite a conundrum because I saw you put it up, and I'm looking at those games, and I'm like, man, that's a tough list.
Did I miss anything that you think should have been there?
No, I don't think
instead of another one?
Think so. I think you covered it. I would have to think. Let's preemptively call what the hell, Bungie's new game there. The hell's it called? See, I already forgot the damn name. Marathon. Yeah, Marathon preemptively should be on the list, even though it's not even out yet. But I don't want to doom the game, but come on.
Yeah, it's kind of rough, huh?
I would think that the thing is with like Mind's Eye is that no one really expected much from it. So it wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't like this big thing. It just kind of was there, and then it disappeared as fast as it showed up, right? But the other two games, Redfall and Concord, those were first-party games from Xbox and PlayStation. And don't forget that the Redfall was the one more thing at the showcase the year before. You remember that when Phil came out? And he's like, one more thing. And then it was the Redfall thing. So I think people built it up way bigger than it needed to be.
Well, Arcane Austin had a unblemished track record of making games everybody loves. So somebody told me that it was a console seller. I'm like, I don't know if Redfall was a console seller. Like, the problem with, we saw the trailer was cool, but once the gameplay was shown, that's when everyone was like, and I think a lot of people were like, I don't know about that. But it was a prominent title for sure.
Right. Now, the thing is, I don't think it should have been a prominent title. What I think they should have done, because Arcane didn't even want to release it. Is that rumor true? Remember that? They're like, we're not even sure about this game, and they're like, just go with it, or let's see what happens. No,
I'll tell you what happened, and then you can just pretend like you can believe me. Arcane refused to delay the game any further, and how about we say that maybe Xbox was like, you guys really need to do another delay. Like, this is not good. And Arcane was like, we're not doing another delay. We didn't want to make this game in the first place. You know, Bethesda told us to make a service game because that's where Bethesda was pushing before they were sold. And we want to be done and we want to move on to the next thing. We don't want to delay it. We're tired of working on it. And Xbox probably said, you need to delay it because this is not looking good. Nine Lives, thanks for sending me a friend request as well. Send Mag one as well. He is I Am the Mag on Xbox. Is that right?
That's right. Xbox, PlayStation, and
Grindr.
I did a little something on Grindr. I did a little something while I was away. We'll get back to this topic in a moment. I bought a Nintendo Switch too.
Oh, yes, you did. Yep.
I bought a Switch too, and I got 3 games for it. I got Mario Odyssey. Obviously it came bundled with Mario Kart, and I got Donkey Kong Bonanza, whatever the hell it's called. And I got a trade-in for the OLED, because the day that I got there, the guy's like, oh man, you picked a perfect day to be here. And I'm like, why? And he's like, you're a Platinum member, right? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, trade-ins are bumped up by 50% only today. And I'm like, will you guys ever advertise this stuff? And then he's like, well, I don't know. We put like a little thing online or something. I'm like,
nobody watches
online and go to the.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to the GameStop website. You're across the street. So, anyways, I walked in, and then I got. Can you believe this, folks? $600 trade-in, Canadian, of course, for my Switch OLED.
Switch OLED.
Two extra controllers and like 10 games that were like crappy games. I almost said the SH word. It's too early in the
Chip,
show.
GM, and Dark Hunter. Thank you. Sorry.
They were like crappy games.
10 games.
Dude, they gave me $30 for the Lego Movie game. What? They doubled the trade-in.
You should have given them $30 for that.
Dude, I'm surprised I didn't know them. Yeah, so that's the $5 Jake, thanks. So it worked out. I did the conversions for everybody because it's $900 Canadian for, it's $1,000 for those 3 games plus the console, right? With the trade-in and everything, $900. So with the trade-in and everything and converted to American dollars for my American friends, it worked out to $211 for a new console and those games.
Oh, that's nice.
How good is
that's
that?
Worth it. That's good.
Is that like I couldn't turn it down? And I think I did put a post about it. I'm like, listen, man, after the week that my family just went through, and my kids, who are, my kids are quiet, but I know they were stressed out.
They almost
and
lost
they were
their
sleeping
mom.
at neighbors. Yeah, they were. Well, they don't know that. They don't know that stuff.
You're awesome.
Yeah. No, they don't
Tell
know
them not
that
to watch
stuff.
that part of the show.
Yeah, don't worry. They're not watching XNC anyway. But the thing is I'm like, these kids could use a W this week, man. I'm like, because they were sleeping at people's houses for days and days and days.
Yeah.
And then, whatever. And I'm like, they need a W. Translation, Meg needed a W. So we got this thing. And it's wonderful. I'm having a great time with it. But for $200 US, 211 US, I would have paid that, no problem. 900 Canadian dollars, 700 for you guys, or 650, whatever it is. No, 700. No, I would not have paid that much. But for 211 US, absolutely.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
so
that's a no-brainer.
Let's get back to this Redfall Concord situation. I think that they shouldn't have brought that. They shouldn't have been putting so much focus on it, because then what you did is you just created so much hype for something that, like, they weren't, obviously, clearly they just wanted to move on from that game. Arcane wanted to move on and just be like, listen, man, this is not what we do. But as they're putting this in the corner, as you said, and like, they just kept focusing on it and focusing on it and focusing on it. And what you're doing is you're building up all this anticipation, and then then it ended up being a letdown. I don't think that was as big of a deal as Concord, because Concord, and I believe that's what won the poll. Concord disappeared off the face of the planet and became the new ET. So in that respect, Concord would have to be, even though what I heard, by the way, I heard that the game actually played quite well. The characters were crappy and whatever else.
Concord
but the
did play well. It just felt really slow. I was like,
right.
It was weird because I played a bunch of Destiny competitive, or the PvP. It feels like Destiny, but you're wearing iron boots. I just thought, man, just speed up the foot running of your
Marvel
characters,
Rivals.
and it might be better. Yeah, it just needed to be a little bit faster. And then
Marvel
the characters
Rivals,
were not like Marvel Rivals. Characters are amazing, bro. They're
amazing.
Well, you have to like Paladin or Overwatch to like Marvel Rivals, and I've had a few good nights playing it, but I don't really load it up anymore. But no, Concord was an okay game, but it was $400 million, and it probably lost more money than Redfall. But Redfall,
absolutely,
and Firewalk, Arcane and Firewalk, both those studios completely shut down, and an embarrassment. And when I think about Suicide Squad being in that listing, would you put Dragon Age Veilguard in place of? Well, what do you guys think?
No,
Chad?
no,
would you put Veilguard next to Suicide Squad? I enjoyed a ton of Veilguard. I couldn't play Suicide Squad after a couple hours; it drove me crazy. But that's just my preference. So it was Concord, Redfall, Mind's Eye, and Suicide Squad. And Mind's Eye got this nuclear explosion of a review from Gene Park. Gene Park's awesome, and he platinumed the game, and he gave it a 0.5 stars out of 5. So Andy Hart says Suicide Squad was a bust. Also, One Right Nut, thank you for adding me on Xbox Live. Thank you, appreciate it. I'm getting those notifications because I have the Xbox app open on PC. So NC says Veilguard is aggressively mid. Meg, what would you throw in front of Suicide Squad? Would you kick that out and put a different failure in there, and then we'll move on?
No, Suicide Squad. That was. I think there was more of, for me, that was more of a tragedy because of the studio, and it's because WB shoved this games as a service down their throat instead of making a narrative a narrative single player game that is clearly their strength, and you make them do this instead. And like, I mean, I know there's only so much you could do, because I know people are out there like, well, they should have just said no. It's not how it works. You know what I mean? There's always a boss above you that's going to say, listen, man, this is what you're doing, whether you like it or not, and blah, 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 blah. And it sucks. So it was a tragedy for me, because I thought that because that studio is so known for doing single player, very strong story narrative games that are just fantastic games, right? The Arkham series are just amazing games. You can go back to those games a million times, and they still don't get any worse. They just stay in like just top quality.
They don't age. They're so good.
They don't age.
So good.
You know what I mean? It's either a 9 or a 10 out of 10. That's all there is to it with those games. And so that was a tragedy. Concord absolutely takes the cake, I think, because there was such a fallout from it. Not only the hundreds of millions of dollars, but there was also the game was removed. Like, I mean, how often does that happen? Where a game is completely wiped off the face of the planet and ends up like in a landfill in Mexico, like E.T., and just disappeared. They pulled the games off shelves for crying out loud.
It happened to Battleborn after. It happened to Battleborn after 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but that's 2 or 3 years. This was like not even a week.
I know it was really bad.
But
it was really bad. Yeah.
That was a smart move, though. I said, you know what another thing is? Instead of keeping that black eye, PlayStation put some foundation on and said, get it out of here so people forget about it. Of course, nobody forgot about it. However, if the game was still available, people would have kept dunking on it over and over.
That's not why they did it. They got rid of it because they couldn't keep the servers busy enough. The open beta numbers were so low. I think they topped out. This is just off my memory, like 2,500 people max. Thanks, Buzz Killington. So many people. Mott Keith or something like that added me as a friend. Thank you. They probably want me to read those. Thank you for doing that. But while Mag's talking, I can't read everything.
No.
Yeah, you and I remember, right? Like Concord didn't hold enough players, and they knew when the game came out, it wouldn't be even worth spooling up the servers for the low number of people that would actually stick around and play the game. PlayStation's had a couple of those this generation, like Destruction All-Stars. Did Destruction All-Stars take their servers down? I think they might have. And I liked that game. I played the demo, or I played it on PS Plus when it came out. And I played like 8 matches, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know if I'll get into it that much. And then I think it kind of went away. Forspoken, like, not a live service game, but thanks, St. Nick. Forspoken came out and was like not talked about like, a couple weeks afterward. And then you have something like Hellblade. Web Dave finally added to your friend. Thanks, Web Dave. Hellblade 2 came and went in like 10 days, didn't it? You remember? Like no one was talking about it.
No. Dude, there was a couple screenshots and it disappeared off the face of the planet. Same thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't saying that it was a bad game. It was just it wasn't. But it just didn't capture the it didn't capture the mind share, and it just kind of disappeared. However, I wanted to just mention something real quick here. You've got this situation where I just talked about we just talked about Suicide Squad and stuff like that, and you're thinking about the developers who made that game, and of course the other 3 games before that. And the thing that blows my mind is that, like, why would you take like a studio that has such a strength in one category and make them do something completely different and F it up? That is sort of applying to what PlayStation was doing with the live service thing. And it doesn't make any bloody sense. Now, the Bungie thing, they were making Marathon before Sony got involved, whatever. I get all that. But you're still there now. You're now part of the, like, you now have to lie in the bed that you made here. You bought this company, which I think was a big mistake. I would have let Bungie just go bankrupt before I would ever support them again. But because I just don't like the way their management runs, and I think that they're arrogant, and I think that their management team is a complete mess, and they don't know what they're doing. Period. I would actually rather see Bungie go bankrupt and be out on their asses, and all the good people with talent, they would all have jobs because the other studios will pick them up. Don't care because I want the management out. Now the problem is you got PlayStation, who've been known for generations for making strong single player, whatever the hell you want to call them, narrative driven, all this other stuff, and they're so good at that. And don't tell me they're not, because every time I'm on X now, what do I see? I see Xbox guys putting squares coming soon to Game Pass. Risk it.
They do.
Right? And it's got like Spider-Man and like Last of Us and Days Gone and this and that. And I'm like, deep down inside, I know you call them sad dad simulators and all this other stuff, but deep down you want them to. You need what you want them to. So therefore, you know that they're quality, right? Why would you take I mean, they're still doing those first. I mean, Ghost of Yotei comes out in a month and a half. But like, why would you take all those funds, all that money, and focus on something you don't know how to do? You are making billions of dollars from Call of Duty that you never have to make.
Didn't they try
all
to
this money? Like, what is matter with you, Sony?
Didn't they try to make a God of War live service game? I don't know what studio they had working on it.
What are you talking about? What were they gonna have? Like 10 Kratoses running around?
I mean, that's the same thing that Arcane Austin. You know, they were known for Prey,
a single player game,
Dishonored.
Yes.
You know, and they were like, make a live service co-op game that's like Borderlands of vampires, and they totally couldn't make that happen.
Because they're all chasing the rainbow. They're trying to chase that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow because they saw Fortnite do it, they see Apex Legends do it, they see all these other. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Focus on what you're good at, man. That's like taking me out of doing what I've been doing for for decades and be like, well, we need you to be a visual painter now, a sculptor.
They were going to do that. They were going to do that to my job 3 months ago. They're like, we're going to put you in an engineering office and have you do, design this stuff. And I'm like, I haven't done that in 20 years. Like, that's not my forte. I don't.
It's like, dude, it makes no sense. It's like handing me a hammer and chisel and say, all right, I want you to make a sculpture like Michelangelo did in the Vatican. Here's your hammer and chisel.
Well, I can do the wiener pretty good.
What? I could do the wiener part, no problem. But like everything else, forget it.
It's going to look like Picasso, except that part, perfect. Yeah. I don't know. That was one of the news pieces that rolled in this week, is that at this point, Bungie is basically a PlayStation studio. They've lost their autonomy and their independence. They honestly, I guess they don't really deserve it. They haven't been amazing in a while. They've been struggling. And I don't know, some people look at that like, oh, Bungie lost their independence to PlayStation. I look at that as a good thing. If PlayStation can right the ship that is Bungie with how well they've done most things, as long as it's not live service, like, I think it's a total W if PlayStation could tell Bungie, make your next world, make it a single player or a cooperative game, and we will direct you and do what you do best. That could be a big W for Bungie, PlayStation, and everyone else. The other question is, now that PlayStation will be running Bungie, they don't have to do what Bungie wanted, was like Bungie said, all our games are going to be multi-platform. But then again, PlayStation wants to be more multi-platform. So some of this is all going to come out in the wash. So, but what everybody's been talking.
Them. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm kind of segueing, but
do it.
Go. Is there one last thing you want to say about Bungie before I?
No, not at all. No, I cut you off on the segue, which is my. See what happens when you miss one or you miss two shows, folks. That's it. I've lost the rhythm.
I don't know how to do a show, but
you're doing great.
I completely missed out on the Battlefield beta, the closed one, the supposed open beta. I downloaded it, installed it, jumped in, and I didn't have the proper key from EA, so I have not played the Battlefield beta. Everyone else has, but before I get into that, the reason why I haven't is because I've been doing nothing but playing two different games. One of them is Ninja Gaiden 4, which I got early access from Platinum Games and Xbox. So I got to play quite a bit of the first chunk of Ninja Gaiden 4. So more to come with that. But I've also been playing Grounded 2. And you guys all know how much I love Grounded. And I won't bore you with the stuff. But basically my two kids and I, two of my three kids, two of my kids and I have been playing Grounded 2 for 50, 60 some hours over the past week and a half, so much where I'm always like, I think that's too much video game time for our kids. I'm like, no, it's not. No. But absolutely loving the game. And so when I couldn't get into Battlefield Beta Mag, I was like, I am so happy right here playing this game with my kids. But there is a large debate that struck online. Did you get a chance to play Battlefield at all?
I certainly did, my friend.
Oh, we got somebody who knows something, because I sure don't. So lay it on us. Tell us all about it.
It was awesome. It was it was everything. Now, some people out there have been saying, could this just be the new car smell? right? Because we've been playing just Call of Duty for years or whatever else, and there hasn't really been a really prominent Battlefield game out there. 2042 was a waste of time, so I'm not even going to count that as a video game. But like, you know what I mean? So it was always COD, and but then all of a sudden you get this, and I'm like, is it something new? And I'm like, actually, it's something old. And that's what makes, and that's what actually, it's the old car smell, folks. It's the 1985 Chevy with the gigantic couch seat in the back and no seatbelts. That's what I'm talking about. This felt like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, with just a tiny sprinkle of Bad Company 2 mixed in there.
Oh, that sounds great.
It was awesome. The sound design, first of all, the graphics, as you would imagine, the graphics are just stellar, right?
As they always
ridiculous.
Are. Love it.
Dude, I got sniped about 5 times just looking up at the mountain peaks. Because I'm like sitting there staring up, and all of a sudden, all you hear is the sound of a bullet like piercing my helmet. And then I fall down. I'm like, come on, man. I just want to look at the graphics for 2 seconds. And it was, oh my God, it was gorgeous. The sound design is a 10 out of 10. Absolute nice. 10 out of 10. The movement is 10 out of 10. Just so smooth. The hit detection was not so great. Now, it could have been just the gun I was using. It could have been just the gun. The reticle was like sort of like when I got onto a guy and I got a little bit of like a red sort of like cross reticle on him. And I'm like, I shoot in bursts, right? You don't just like, pray and spray.
Yeah, I mean, we're paying for this ammo, yeah.
Yeah, pop, right? And you do we're paying for this ammo, my goodness. Tax dollars, folks. That old mag smell. Yeah, that's right, Maverick. And so I found that I was like taking some guys on, and it looked like I just wasn't hitting anything. And I'm like, is it just me? Maybe the time to kill was a little bit different, like it's because it's different from Call of Duty, or was it just a little bit rough around the edges with some of that stuff with the multiplayer stuff, right? So I was just wondering. I'm not really sure about that, but I noticed on several occasions I was having a few issues with the hit detection. It may not be a thing. It may just be me for all I know. I don't know if anybody in the chat feels the same, but either way, it was amazing. What an experience. I played for hours and I just couldn't tear myself away from the screen. And like I said, it's not because I'm so sick and tired of Call of Duty and saying, oh, well, I'm just doing this because I'm sick of Call of Duty. Donnie, knock it off. These guys are distracting me with their...
Donnie, I was thinking the same thing because he said like 3 phrases that kind of made me go, oh, you did you?
Yeah, madness. So they're trying to trip me up. So anyways, it was great. Now, there were a couple of instances where the destruction was amazing.
Oh, man.
I didn't realize, by the way, I was such an idiot. There was a guy coming by with a tank. Like, 'cause I generally don't like playing the huge maps because they get so tiresome. Like, I don't want to play a game for 35 minutes straight. Yeah, and it's like I don't want to. Yeah, and I don't want to be doing like a marathon. Like I got to get on a bicycle and do the Tour de France just to get back into the battle.
And once you get up to the top of the hill, it's like dead.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're dead again. It's like, come on, man, I got to go do that marathon again. I mean, I know you can spawn on your squad. You get somebody in there, whatever. So that was obviously great. I know that was in the other battlefields, but still, I kind of stay away from the larger maps. I did the smaller maps, and I did some of the domination games, like those ones, and the conquest one, or not conquest, the one where you have to defend like a certain area, and then another one spawns like 2 minutes later, then another one spawns 2 minutes. I can't remember what the hell it's called. And then the domination, I think that's the one with sites A, B, and C. You know what I mean? Like the enemy's taking site B, and they're taking Bravo, they're taking Charlie. Yeah, and I was playing that, the smaller ones, amazing. Now the bigger ones with the vehicles and everything else like that, it was terrifying because you're in there and this tank is rolling through and you're like, oh, here comes a bad guy. So I'm just hoofing grenades at this dude, not realizing that they're flashbang grenades. I didn't notice till like 20 minutes, and I'm like, this is not doing any damage. And then I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, folks, this is Battlefield. So I could change my third gun, or I think they call it equipment. I can't remember what they call it. And then you could put on like a shotgun. You could put on a grenade launcher or something else like that. So a tank comes in, you could pull out that third weapon by pressing left on the directional pad, get that thing out there, and you could like fire at tanks. But Boy, did I ever make a fatal mistake. I threw a flashbang at a tank, and I'm like, yeah, take that. And it did nothing. And I was like, all it did was attract their attention. So I'm sitting there looking out the window.
The tank guy's like, that was really loud.
Yeah, and all I see is this. And I'm like, oh, crap. And then all of a sudden, ba-boom, and blows the whole damn wall off the building I was standing
Terrifying.
in. So now I'm looking at like what looks like Poland after World War II, like like those like the houses with just no face on it, and just like you're like, what
just
the
an
hell?
inside wall.
Yeah, and I'm like, and then of course, what did that do? It exposed me to the infantry on the ground, right? And then I look and I see guys coming out, and they see me up there, and I'm like, oh shoot! Throw myself to the ground. I'm army crawling down to the steps trying to get away, and I'm like, this is so exciting. That's felt real. It felt like real military action. It was it was the unexpected that could happen. That's what made it so like it wasn't scripted.
Were there like Dua Lipa skins or Sabrina Carpenter or Megan Thee Stallion and dancing
there
like
was Billy? Yeah, I saw some guys with Billie Eilish in a thong running around with a machine gun. Barney was there, the purple dinosaur.
Yep, Barney.
Peter
Griffin.
Peter Griffin was there. LeBron James with a little water pistol. I mean, there's all these characters running around.
Yeah.
The thing is, it took itself seriously.
Yeah.
And it played seriously. And,
you kind of need that these days. But
that's what I've been complaining about for the last year. Like,
all right, here's the argument we're going to have, because once Battlefield won 500,000 concurrent players on Steam, won the hearts and minds, like it's back. Someone in the chat says, how long did Vince your water jug.
The only person who said something about it was Noisy Mofo in the chat. He goes, is Mag drinking out of a keg?
You're literally drinking out of the crystal water, cooler that they drop off at the office.
Dude, I wasn't going to say anything. And I'm like, let me just bring this gigantic jug of water. And I'm just going to drink out of it, not say anything. But you cracked. You cracked under pressure.
I couldn't help it. There was a black screen for 6 seconds before we started after the intro because Meg and I were laughing about his water jug. So anyway, there it is. It finally makes its appearance, and 47 minutes into the show. The big argument right now is that Battlefield won hearts and minds, and now everyone's like, Call of Duty dead, Fortnite dead, it's over for you. And this is the tribalism mindset that we live in. It's part of the competitive nature, us as gamers, where we want to see Call of Duty fall on its face and die. And our memory is Call of Duty has sucked ever since 2013. It hasn't been good, is what people say. The reality is that Call of Duty is one of the most financially successful and most played first-person shooters. This is just off the top of my head. I'm making this up. I'm sure it's fairly close. It's one of the most lucrative games as a service games ever. And Battlefield is really, really promising. Will it reach anywhere near the numbers that Call of Duty does? It might not. But I'm here to say, my argument being, Mag, and we can have this argument, there is definitely room for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or 7? Black Ops 7 to absolutely dominate, make a ton of money, have 1 million people playing in the holiday when it comes out, and then Battlefield will come out, and there's going to be tons of people playing on both sides. My prediction is that there'll be more people playing Call of Duty, and Battlefield will have this gigantic chunk that will nearly match Call of Duty. And my other prediction is that this Call of Duty will be pretty decent. It won't be as bad as the one 2 years ago. But I wanted to ask you about this whole problem with Beavis and Butthead and all these Nicki Minaj and stuff like that in Call of Duty, and how it makes you feel after playing what you said was the real deal.
Yeah. I'm still going to play Call of Duty. I enjoy Call of Duty. I've never not. And I don't listen, only a Sith deals in absolutes. I've mentioned this many times before. Obi-Wan was not wrong. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I can say this, though. This is more my speed of what I'm looking for with my first-person military shooters. I'm looking for Battlefield. right? That kind of gameplay. I've been missing it since Battlefield 3, 4, and of course Bad Company 2, which is still revered as one of the best of all time, right?
Love it.
And yeah, and so like it was always up there, it's always there, but like this game took itself seriously, and it's fine that the Call of Duty multiplayer does not want to take itself seriously. That's fine, totally fine. It's not a different genre, but it's a different style of the same genre. But I will lead. Excuse me, sorry, hiccups. The giant water bottle. I would lean towards Battlefield more myself. However, I'm still going to be playing both. Now, the interesting thing is I wanted to bring up is the fact that when do you decide, now that you've got October 10th is the release for Battlefield 6, what does Microsoft do for the launch of Call of Duty? Did they delay it 5 weeks? Give them their little bit of sunshine, and hopefully that honeymoon phase. Because I don't think they announced a date, have they?
No, probably not. And I was going to see what the release date. Thanks, Fear Cry, for joining, for adding me on Xbox. Yeah, October 25th. So 20 days later, or 18 days later.
15.
But
25th?
Call of Duty has released in November many times. Let me grab you October 28th, 2022. Give me a second here. I got to read some supers as well. November 5th for 2021. 2021 was November 5th, and I feel like Call of Duty came out really close to Black Friday, which would be the last chunk of November. I'm just grabbing a couple of November 13th, so mid-November for 2020. So yeah, I think you're right, Mag. I think they push it 5 weeks, and they push closer to a November something, and it'll be totally fine.
I think that's a smart move. You get everybody you get their appetites wet with their Battlefield 6 if you buy it. Now, the only thing that Call of Duty
that blue number says she thinks there is a release date for COD.
November 14th, she's saying.
Yeah, November 14th. So they're fine.
Okay.
They're what, a month apart? What did you say was October 10th?
Is Battlefield.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Give people a month of playing it every single night. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I was going to say the only other thing is that the only thing that could cut into it a little bit with Battlefield is that Battlefield is not being offered on a subscription service. So you've got an Xbox community and a PC community who will be able to, I mean, for the most part, anybody who's subscribed to Game Pass, of course, on PC or on the consoles will have access to Call of Duty Day 1, where they don't have that $70 barrier or whatever. Whereas Battlefield 6 for everybody, you're going to have to pay full price for. Is 70 across the board.
My personal opinion is there probably aren't many people that play Call of Duty on Game Pass. I'm probably wrong, but I would think the majority of the people playing just go ahead and buy the game like they always do. I can't imagine. I wonder how the consumer works. Like, there's people that buy Call of Duty every year, and they don't really play other video games. I can't imagine them going, but I could sign up for Game Pass for $20 a month or $15 a month, and I would get access to all these games I don't play. So, I don't know. That blue number in the chat, give me your opinion, and I'll read it if I see it in the chat. Do you think a large chunk of people, play Call of Duty on Game Pass? I feel like it would be the minority. Let me grab some supers. Thank you so much for all your support, guys. We really appreciate you and all the love you've given to Mag and his family. I got a really great DM from someone the other day that said, this is going to sound kind of funky the way it was written, but I'm reading off my memory. But the guy said, I wasn't sure about the combo of Mag and Colt at first, because you bring somebody in new, right? I'm paraphrasing, but when you bring somebody in new, you're like, oh, is this what I want? And he said that you and I have melded together so well that he can't wait for every Monday to hear Mag and Colt do their thing. And I don't often get messages where people say, thanks for the show. And when they do, it does mean a whole lot. And I always send a message over to Mag and say, hey, this guy said something nice about us. It's really cool to hear. So let me read these super chats. We got Literal Table. Thank you for the Canadian $2.79. Says, welcome back, Mag. Yosemite Blam, or as my buddy would call it, Yosemite. Yosemite Blam with the $5 super says, I believe it was Mark Morrison who said once, return of the Mag. You lied to me.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh my gosh. The other night, the past, I don't know, like 5 or 6 times over this past like few months, my daughter has asked me to go do karaoke with her locally, and she always goes to this place where I just think the karaoke is awful. There's 8 people playing pool at the end of the room. There's like 5 people sitting in the middle of the bar, and they're not listening. They're not music fans, and the sound system just doesn't sound right. And she always wants me to go, and we go and sing, and I just never really had the right karaoke moment. And I said, let's go to this other place that I went to like way back in the day. And we went the other night, and oh my gosh, my daughter sang Avril Lavigne, Ordinary, which is a super high belting song. She absolutely nailed it. We were having so much fun, and everyone was cheering. And me as the dad, you know, I'm like such a music guy. And here's my daughter belting out this song and hitting the notes and holding the vibrato right and everything. I was like, oh, it was so wonderful. So, yeah, families are important. Andy Hart, starts the chat. What a breath of fresh air. Mafia, the old country. No spoilers. Great story for visuals. For $50 or 50 pounds, I've done 12 hours of finishing up. I just started today. I just got through the intro. It's a beautiful game. BMac Lips, welcome to the channel membership. We appreciate you. And also gifted to Greg K. Iron Balls 2485. Thank you for gifting the channel membership. Andy Hart with a 5 says, I was offline to Do Not Disturb on PlayStation for years until a work colleague said, what are you playing on PlayStation? To be honest, I didn't even notice. Yeah, I've got friends who will not leave offline mode. Andy Hart also says, Suicide Squad was a bust. Do you know the Brook Boy Insider says, Colt, one right nut is me on Xbox. I already got mag added.
Yeah, he already has me, That name forever. By the way, speaking of which, before you carry on, I just want to say thank you to Buzz Killington, Slipstream 14, C-Note 7391, Chip GM, Debate Nate TV, and Ricky W87 all just added me on Xbox in the last 15 minutes.
Oh, awesome. So you're keeping tally.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, another 6 people just added me just now. Well, I mean, they were doing it to you, and I'm like, well, let me see what's going on over here. And I got a whole bunch of people just add me. So,
yeah, a couple of those I saw as well that I couldn't read off. So I appreciate you covering that.
Oh, speaking of which, one last thing. Can I just say one last thing? It's a public service announcement. On the Xbox, no problem. But on PlayStation, if you add me, do not add me as a personal friend. I will refuse those because my real name shows up and my last name. And I'm like, I can't have that. So I refuse. I don't know why PlayStation does that. It's so stupid. But I if you do not send me personal, whatever it's called, close friend, do not send me close friend requests. Yeah, I deny those. So it's not because I'm being a douche canoe, as it were, as I'm a Canadian. I am not a douche canoe, but I'm just saying it because I can't have all my personal information exposed. Meet the Cheater. My name is I Am the Mag. All capital letters. That's on Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch too.
Yeah, and I'm also Colteastwood, all one word, on Xbox and PlayStation. And same, I hit deny on the close friend ones. Because I think, PlayStation has you put your full name when you sign up your account.
It's so stupid, man. And it's got my last name and everything and my phone number. What the frig?
It's like,
why don't you just
close friend? They
take
show
a
up your
picture
house?
of me sleeping? Yeah, you can get a live stream of me asleep in bed, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, close friend. I like the way you're sleeping right there. Go ahead. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Don't mind me,
my sweet prince. Sleep.
Yeah.
Little kiss.
I am Trick, or I am Trish. It just added me as well.
Dead Time just added me just now. Dead Time's been
You're
around
in for a nightmare
forever. Danny Passion Official, thank you for the super, and McKee, thank you for the ad. Meg, good to see you back, and he's got 2 of these.
Thank you.
Or if you're Korean, one of these. Danny Passion Official said I enjoyed Battlefield Beta a lot. Skipping COD this year. You don't have to skip, but you know what? If you're playing Battlefield every night and it's all you need, rock on. Biff Rinaldi says, Colt, you never accepted my request months ago. Laugh out loud. We've talked on Xbox Live. I should hit you back, Biff. I appreciate you. Dallas LeBeau. Thank you for adding me. Someone in the chat says, Colt, the beta was open for everybody for Battlefield. It was, but when I joined, when I loaded it up, everything was locked because you needed to get a Twitch code or whatever. And it was, I think it was last weekend or whatever it was. But me and another friend had the same problem. Everything was locked except for Training Ground. And then I never went back when it was open and when I could get to it. Because like I said, I was playing Grounded. I'm talking so fast today. Andy Hart, thank you for the £5 super. Says, have you noticed Mafia, the Old Country? Thanks, Meet the Cheater, for adding me as well. Now I can't see. Have you noticed Mafia, the Old Country is very divisive game, mainly on PC. I've got no issues on base PS5 and heard PS5 Pro is flawless. I didn't look at the Digital Foundry report, and I haven't played enough of the game, but I'm playing on Series X. In performance mode, it looks pretty good. All of the cutscenes are at 30, which is kind of weird. This is a thing they do on console.
I did notice that. I did notice that too. And I'm like, it's jarring because I'm playing the game at like 60 FPS. It's beautiful to look at. It's blazing, gorgeous graphics, great steady frame rate. And then all of a sudden it goes into the cutscene, which normally the cutscenes are supposed to be a step up, right? Because you're like, ooh, look at this beautiful cutscene. And all of a sudden it just goes like,
they just drop down in frame rate.
And then it just drops down. I'm like, what the hell just happened? But they're still gorgeous. I mean, the facial animations and stuff and those cutscenes and whatever are just amazing. And you can see that they use the tech. I know it's not the same company, but they still use the tech. It's under the same umbrella as the guys who did what's it called, LA Noire. Like you could see like some of the tech they use because
for the facial capture.
Yeah, the facial capture stuff was just amazing. But my God, we could talk about that later if you want. It's up to you.
Yeah. I didn't know if you'd gotten into it much, and like I said, I only played the intro to where it like first kind of, whatever. I don't want to spoil it. Just really early on.
No.
Yeah, Graham Man for the 2 says, I stopped playing Call of Duty and Battlefield and play the finals. I still haven't played the finals, but play them all. Play whatever you want. Jump around. Just play something you enjoy.
Play what final? What does that mean? No, sorry, I'm being serious. What does he mean then?
The finals is a competitive multiplayer game, kind of like Valorant. It's very fast.
How come I've never heard of this game? Maybe I have. I just didn't pay attention.
I think it's by EA, if I remember right. I can't remember, but it's supposed to be pretty awesome, and it's fairly new. It's only been out about a year, if I remember. I just don't play those competitive games like that very much. I love co-op games, and I'll shoehorn this in, Mag. I finished Star Wars Outlaws like a week or two ago, and
yes, I remember. Yeah,
I'm just glad I played it. It wasn't incredibly great.
Game, dude.
I'm just glad I played it. I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I've been trying to say it a lot more often. Thank you, Final Hope, and other people that I couldn't mention. I don't know. Sometimes you're just like, what score do you give it? It's like sometimes I'm just like, I'm just glad I experienced it. I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I chose to buy it and give it a shot. And I know
Ubisoft has been very. Yeah, I recommend it after I got it on sale for like 60% off. Ubisoft is great for that. But I got to say, you know what? As much grief as we can give Ubisoft for a lot of their business decisions and other decisions that they make, some of them, aesthetic designs in their games or whatever, or any controversy that they decide to drum up, I have yet to be disappointed by a single-player Ubisoft game. I have yet to be disappointed. I love Assassin's Creed franchise.
And you loved Avatar as well, right?
I really enjoyed Avatar. I really liked Star Wars Outlaws. And then my wife is playing. I haven't started it yet because I'm knee deep in so many other games. But my wife started playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and she loves it.
I love it.
She loves it, and she's having such a good time with it. She played Valhalla because she loves Vikings.
I love Valhalla.
And yeah, she loved Valhalla, and then she's playing Shadows right now.
We're Ubisoft simps. We really are.
Dude, but they're great. They're games that I enjoyed playing, and I love them. I love those games, and I really look forward to playing Shadows when I get the actual time, which will be bloody well never these days, because we're just going to get hammered over the head like from now until pretty much December with games.
Ubisoft needs to fix some things for sure, and even those games that you and I talked about, like Avatar, needed work. Outlaws needed work. Skull and Bones was a bust, but I didn't play it. But when people are like, I hope Ubisoft dies for their sins, it's like, let them right their ship. They needed to write it a long time ago, but they're a part of the lifeblood of this industry. They've provided some incredible stuff. Loops 73 says, I also like Ubisoft. I don't love all their games. Like Meg and I like most of their single player. I didn't like For Honor, but whatever. I didn't like X
God, no,
Defiant.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
No, I tried X Defiant. I tried For Honor. Didn't enjoy them. But as who is it? Sotness in the chat mentioned Immortals. That was a great little game. That was a fun little game.
Oh,
some pretty
Phoenix Rising.
Some pretty frustrating puzzles in there. Like it was getting a little bit tedious towards the end. I'm like, dude, like you guys got to calm down with these puzzles. But
I can't finish
the
it.
game was actually Oh, really? You haven't finished it? It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
I
mean, think about this, dude. 20 years of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, and almost all of them have hit, right?
And almost all of them have hit.
Except for Rogue and but people still like them. Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Far Cry series. What are we talking about here?
We got a new Far Cry announcement coming, right?
Oh, God.
You know what? I was thinking about... thanks, Bit Horizon, for adding us. I was thinking about Far Cry because there was a news report that there was a Far Cry TV show that was leaked or accidentally announced and then yanked from a Ubisoft website. And I was thinking about, I'm such a big fan of Far Cry, and it boils down to one formula, which I think is brilliant. You are dropped into a location that is basically under martial law. That's like that's the elevator pitch for Far Cry. And when you think about, once you got into Far Cry 3, that's when that formula came in and was like absolutely hit, right? You drop into this, I can't remember where Far Cry 3 takes place, supposedly, but you drop into this island and there are mercenaries or whatever, guerrilla warfare guys who are taking over and they own everything and they rule with an iron fist. And so that's what you've done in Far Cry games. And I guess if they want to make a TV show, it's so funny because you and I love 5, and they were so creative. They're like, we got to drop you in a place where there's no law. Like the law is bullets, death. And they made it a remote part of Montana with some like religious cult. Absolutely brilliant. So
that was a great game. Great game.
Yeah,
Danny Passion's actually in the chat. He's asking me, he goes, did you play the Prince of Persia Lost Crown? I just finished it a few weeks ago. It was for free. I don't know if it's on Game Pass, but it was for free on PlayStation Plus as a giveaway.
I don't know if it came to Game Pass.
And I'm like, oh. So I just downloaded, played it. I loved it. Yeah. I loved it. I put 20 hours into it, and I loved Prince of Persia. It was so good. Dave Rave on the PlayStation. Thank you for adding me, man. Dave Rave 200. By the way, 17 more people added me on Xbox just now. I got Bid Horizon, Guri 81, Eastwood 333. Is that you? Is that your sock account?
No. You'll
Eastwood
know my sock account.
I'm just okay. Mikey 36. I got Diamond Giza, Diamond Giza, I don't know. Preview. Holy crap! BT Maverick. I got Preview 39. Satanic 187 on a. I want to say it. Dead Time. Meet the Cheater. Final Hope. And I am Trike or Trish. I can't remember what this one was. I had all these people just add me in the last 10 minutes. That's 18 new friend requests, and I denied them all. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm adding them all right now, folks. You're all blocked. Jason Schreier's got you.
I updated my profile picture. I updated my profile picture on YouTube and Twitter to this hair, and I absolutely love this. But yeah, and then I was like messing around today, and I threw our logo icons on the overlay so people can make it more. So they'll see that icon on the show, and then they can coincide that with your channel and stuff like that. So. 78 Incorporated, thank you for the $5 super. Says Colton Mag, you better not ignore my invite when I send it to you. No, seriously though. And I was gonna make a joke. He says, and Battlefield is back, but he says BF, and I'm like, what initials should I use for BF? My boyfriend's back. We'll go Battlefield. KY Bob, my good friend. A channel sponsor, a longtime channel member and channel sponsor in the Superclass, says 69 months. He said, what's up, guys? I took Wednesday off and Thursday off from work so I don't miss the moment that they say the Xbox Ally X pre-orders are live. Is that when you think it's going to happen, or have I missed the deal, KY?
It's gonna happen very soon, and then we talked about it. It was gonna be mid to late August when they're gonna announce the pre-orders, and then launch. I believe it's October, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check my notes because, like I said, I've been out of the loop for about a week. I mean, I've been sort of watching from afar, but a lot of my people I haven't spoken to. Some of them I have, but it wasn't gaming related. It was personal. So we didn't really get into a lot of news, but I'm sure I'll find out some more info this week now that I'm back in the saddle here. So I'll see what info I can squeeze out of these guys. I do have something coming up, though. I know one of them says I got some info for you this week, but we'll find out. Does a King 420? Thank you for the friend request.
Do you know the Brook Boy Insider? Thank you for the 2. Says Battlefield 6 should launch on EA Play Pro sub service at launch. I think they'll sell quite well.
They'll do it in the new year. It'll sell well, and I think they'll put it into the service after 6 months, and then boost the numbers once it starts to sag a bit. I know, but the thing is, here's the interesting thing. Battlefield has a history of longevity because they're not an annualized game, right? And if you notice that they put a lot of these expansions and a lot of these other things into the game, new events and whatever else, and they really, really support the game after the fact for years to come. Like Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1, those games were flourishing for years because, like I said, they're not annualized games. They don't come out like clockwork every October, November, like Call of Duty. And as a result, they keep the community in the game. And that's why the portal, that portal thing that they're doing for Battlefield is going to be very important because that's what's going to carry the community forward, right? So that's going to be a huge component. Yes, exactly. And they're going to put a lot of focus on that after 90 days. So 90 days, people are going to get the game, play the campaign, play the multiplayer, and they're going to put a lot of extra focus on Portal. And that's going to carry the game and give it its longevity. Now, listen, we got Vince Zampella doing this game. That man has yet to not hit the target, for me anyway. That guy hits bullseyes pretty much every time. I mean, and look at his pedigree, for crying out loud. Are you kidding me? If you go back and look at all the first-person shooters and, of course, the 2 Jedi games that he did, the guy is just incredible. Do we have to say it? One of the most...
I don't know. Maybe he just knows what people like. Maybe he's not talented at all. He just knows what people like. It's so funny. Titanfall was a massive hit. He made the biggest and best Call of Duty games. He just knows what people likes and he makes it happen. I was joking about the talent thing. The guy's amazing.
Did the guy also make Medal of Honor as well?
I don't know if he did. I think he might have come. The guys that made Infinity Ward, did they come from Medal of Honor, chat?
Because Medal of Honor?
Yeah, NC's saying so.
People are they're saying, and even Tripster in the chat said he did as well.
One of my favorites back in like 2010 or maybe 2009 was the Medal of Honor game. It was like like soft reboot, and it was a modern era, and it was a very short campaign. I played it like twice. I loved it. You go on the 4-wheeler early on. It was fantastic. Shout out to over 670 people who are watching the show. Thank you so much for being here and hitting Mag and I up on Xbox and PlayStation and for joining the chat. We appreciate you. Hit the like button to show your support to boost the show. This? I had to give my son a ray gun there. So anyway, we appreciate you guys. Hit the like button. I'm going to get back to this. We got BG Maverick, thanks to the 2, says, will Battlefield be the top 5 selling game of 2025? No, I don't know. Well, there's so many that are already at the top. Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What do you think, Mag?
Okay, well, let's not discount Nintendo right now, even though it's a new console, but I have a feeling like Donkey Kong... You can't count Mario Kart because it comes bundled with. I mean, there's a bundle with the console, right? But I mean, I would say Donkey Kong might be up there. Expedition 33 might be up there. Battlefield, Call of Duty, maybe Battlefield. I'd say Battlefield, Call of Duty, and what else? Well, Ghost of Yotei, Borderlands 4. Crap, what am I talking about? The last Borderlands, which was considered the worst.
Do you think Borderlands 4 will be way up there?
Battlefield. Borderlands 3 was considered to be the worst. It still sold 13 million copies, for crying out loud. What are we talking about here? This is Borderlands.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double check my. I'm gonna double check my math here. Borderlands 3 sales.
What else?
I'll tell you right now. What?
What?
Borderlands 3 sold 22 million copies, dude.
And it's not the most well-loved Borderlands. Interesting.
That's what I'm saying. It's not the It's not the best rated
call.
or whatever. Holy crap!
Preston says Expedition 33 will be up there on a high-selling game for 2025. Monster Hunter Wilds did okay, I think. Kingdom Come Deliverance sold pretty
22 million comp.
Yeah, me as well. Meet the cheater. Borderlands 4 day one. I'm actually trying to see if I can actually review it.
Yeah. No, it's already. Are you kidding me? You think Suge Knight is going to give you a copy of the game? Pitchford? That's what I call him. I keep saying that he's the Suge Knight of the gaming industry. The man's he's a wild man. He can't be controlled.
Yeah.
He's totally out of control.
I'm working on it. I got to talk to a really cool dev that worked at Gearbox all the way up until last year. When I met him at the Xbox Showcase, he had just left Gearbox, and so he's been talking to me, and I'm like, hey, put in a good word for me. So
right, nice. Well, Maverick just mentioned Oblivion Remastered. That did incredibly well, didn't it?
Yes, it did. It did sell really well. Yeah, if I remember right.
You know what? For
people are like, there's such a crappy generation, and games suck so bad. Like, why are you talking about a PS6 and an Xbox when the games are so bad? I'm like, games have been really good.
The gaming industry is dead. This generation is the worst of all time. What? What are you talking about? We can't even make a top 5 list of best-selling games this year. It's going to be 10 games this year that might crack the top whatever selling games. And also, so who else mentioned in chat here? Maverick again. He mentioned the NCAA football. Dude, that last NCAA football was a massive success. And that's coming out as well. Plus, you got Call of Duty. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Ghost of Yotei. That might hit 2-3 million, maybe more. Because, I don't know how much the other one sold. What's it called? Ghost of Tsushima.
I think it sold like 12 million copies across both versions.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Really? Ghost of Tsushima sales.
13 we already knew copies. We already knew 2025 was going to be phenomenal. Night Rain sold really well, the Elden Ring game. So
didn't Outer Worlds sell really well too? Like even though it was available on Game Pass? I think it sold well on PC, didn't it?
I don't know if I don't think Outer Worlds had big numbers, and I don't expect the sequel to as well. Randy, BT Maverick.
Spawner 75 on PlayStation and Xbox at the same time. What a wild man. Accept and accept. All right, on both consoles. Thank you, Spawner 75. Gosh. Carry on, Colteastwood. Dude, this is fun. We could just have a whole podcast of just talking about all the people adding us. It's great.
Yeah, just hanging out with everybody who's going to be hanging out with us. Chip GM, thanks for the 5. Says, I would say that Battlefield could reach 1 million players after a couple of years, especially with players with the made maps on Portal. I can't wait to see what people make for maps. Yeah. There were people that are frustrated that, it's only small maps in the beta, and they'll be the big ones. There's a lot there. KY Bob says, Avril Lavigne's "I'm With You" is my wife and I's favorite song. It's a really good one.
Lovely.
It's really, really good.
It's a nice song. It's a nice song.
She's Canadian. She writes her own music too.
She's actually just an hour and a half away from me. I mean, it's not like I've been to her house, but
can you get her on the show?
I'll get her on the show right away.
Go get her real quick.
Yeah.
You're like,
by the way, I sent off an email to Randy Pitchford actually for another reason, unrelated to Borderlands.
Hey, put in a good word and don't let him see the segment where we were talking about his thumb drive.
You just said it in the air.
Well,
you don't think Suge Knight's listening? He's got people, man.
But the way I said it, he couldn't hear it because I was at a certain frequency.
Dude,
the OG Kakashi, thank you for adding me. Dark Rice 481, thank you for the $1 super. We got Boner Jams. We were supposed to be on their show 2 weeks ago.
I know, that's right. Yes, I know.
Things. It was literally the day, you were at the hospital still that day.
I was Boner at the hospital, yeah.
Thank you for the $5 super. Says here for Mag's Central Touch and Colt Bang Bros password. You know what my password is. It's 8008. Wait, 5. What was it? 55378008. That's for you 1980s kids. He says, love you guys. Hope you're great. Hope the chat is doing well. Blessings. Hopefully we can join you guys soon. Andy Hart with the 2. That's Under the Bus podcast on Wednesdays. Check them out for nonstop nonsense and mayhem. And hopefully we'll be on there with those guys, and that'll be super fun. Andy Hart with the $2 super says, what reason was given for the next thing that we're going to talk about? We've been talking about Battlefield for an hour. Contraband was canceled by Xbox, and interesting insight from a games journalist that gives an educated prediction that Microsoft knew Contraband was going to be canceled quite a long time ago. This journalist claims that it's highly possible that Microsoft spent, thank you, Nymph, for adding me, that it was highly possible that Microsoft and Xbox were trying to sell the game to another publisher instead of just kicking them to the curb. They did the same thing with Hi-Fi Rush. They didn't do it with Redfall, but they are claiming that Contraband was canceled months ago, and they waited for that announcement because they were trying to get someone else to pick it up. But it didn't get picked up, so that's why we're going to talk about Contraband, because you were excited about it. I was excited about it, but that excitement had kind of faded the more that we kind of heard behind the scenes. I guess, Meg, can you kind of reset everybody on what Contraband is and what happened with this announcement? Because you've had some connections here or there.
Yeah. I mean, I've had people play testing the game, and I got to see like actual live footage of the game. I got to see some pictures of the game, which of course they put some funny watermarks on it, so I wouldn't share it. And I'm like, dude, I wasn't going to share it anyway. So like, it was, I'm not going to jail for Contraband, no pun intended. But either way, it was basically a Twisted Metal meets the Dukes of Hazzard kind of game with a little bit of like Payday thrown in the mix. So it was like a culmination of those three different games. Now the reasons why, I mean, some of them are pretty obvious, as we already know. Taking too damn long, costing too much money, and labor is too expensive these days. And this is why these games are not. And this is something that I believe, what the hell's his head there from PlayStation said 5-6 years ago. Damn it, I always forget his name. Sean Layton said the same thing. He goes, No, it was Sean Layton said, he goes, these AAA games are great and all. He says, but if they don't find a way to shorten these development times, a lot of these games are not going to come out either in a timely manner, or they're going to get cut off at some point because this is costing too much money. Now, what these corporations can also do when something goes defunct, they can also declare that product bankrupt, so to speak. And so they can use it. They can write it off. They write off the loss as tax reasons. That's another thing. A lot of people like when they're talking about Contraband lost $400 million. I'm like, well, did it? Because they can write off a lot of it. Did I say Concord? What did I say? Well, whatever.
You said, Concord. Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
Right. So
Concord lost $400 million, yeah.
Right, and so like you look at that, well, they can write off a lot of this on the taxes, whatever else. For example, WB did that with Batgirl. They scrapped the movie entirely, even though they had it in the can, and they scrapped it and they utilized it for tax purposes, and they were able to actually recoup a lot of the money back from that, and they just shelved it, and it's gone forever. Now, what they could do is what you were saying. So Microsoft is looking at a situation where they could take Contraband and they could actually try to sell the IP. Sell it off to somebody else, another publisher being able to take the game and utilize it for their own benefits, or you make it disappear, use it as a tax write-off, recoup as much money as you possibly can, minimize your losses, and just carry on with it. That's basically what they're going to do. So it's one of two things. I did see some people in the chat were also saying that there's a possibility that that the game is actually still being worked on by the team, so they could finish the game and then maybe be able to market it out to somebody else, right? Possible.
I don't think anybody wants it.
Not likely at this point, but I'm not really sure. So I don't have those answers just yet. I know none of us really have a clear picture. Now, the funny thing is I'm noticing a lot of, as it was announced, there was a lot of disinterest pretty much right away of people being like, you know what, I just really don't care. Because we didn't really see enough. Well, no, nobody saw it.
No one saw anything. Yeah.
I saw it. But I mean, a lot of people did not see it.
You showed me a screenshot on your phone through the camera, and I'm like,
yeah, I wouldn't share it because I was like, I don't want to share them.
Yeah.
But I saw. Now the thing is, I know you saw those pictures, but I saw those pictures on that same map in live action.
Okay.
So those weren't made up. Like that was an actual.
I've never heard anybody that saw a single pixel of the game, no gameplay, no screenshots, no concept art or anything. And I know that Jez Corden had been doing quite a bit of digging, trying to get through his channels and find any pulse on Contraband. And I think the kind of the writing was on the wall for a while.
Jez Corden doesn't know anybody in the gaming industry. What are you talking about? Only I do.
Oh, good.
Anyway,
Yeah, only Meg.
hi, Jez.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in a long. I haven't talked to Jez in a long time. Actually, we had a little conversation.
I'd love to have
about
Jess on with us, but it's like 2 in the morning in Germany over the summer. So when the
he's
show
in Germany.
starts,
That's right. Yeah. I'll be in Germany
Yeah.
next year. I'll hunt him down. Just like I'm.
like I would literally have to do the show at like 1 or 2 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock your time to get Jez on.
Yeah.
And that would mean like taking half a day off of work. And I love Jez, but
well, it also would hurt. It would hurt the audience because a lot of people wouldn't be able to make it.
Yeah.
They're like, "What the hell? 4 hours early, I can't do that." But I could do that.
The answer is for Jez to just stay up all night, like, no problem, no big deal. Yeah.
But yeah. So
I had
anyways,
issues with Contraband, Meg. I did a video about 2.5 years ago where I was excited about the news that you and I had talked about, and some other stuff had leaked, according to people saying they were working on the game like a long time ago. And I thought, because you talked about like the muscle cars, but they also kind of alluded to, I don't know why you even bring it up, because I think the game's never going to see the light of day from anyone, but they had like a mud runner thing, like you could upgrade a winch, and there was a mechanics where you had to, winch your vehicle and pull it out of the mud when you're being chased by the authorities. It just kind of seems weird, but you never know, like a weird game like that could absolutely fly off the shelves. Like, oh my gosh, people are streaming this game and the insane things that you're doing are, it's breaking the internet, or it could absolutely flop. But apparently no one really saw any heavenly goodness from it. And I'm going to say something that sounds sort of damage controlling, and I'm very self-aware that it sounds like damage control, but I kind of like the idea of Microsoft saying, if you can't pull your weight, if your game doesn't look like it's going to fly off the shelves or win the hearts and minds, what are we paying you for? The problem is Xbox should have done that a decade ago.
Right. Now, it's funny you say that, because when they talked about the Red Wedding there, when they started murdering all their staff members, and the games and the studios and stuff, what did they say in that release when it came to, they were talking about how they're going to focus on games that are going to be, or IPs that are going to be either highly successful or very mainstream or whatever, right?
Sure bets, basically. Yeah.
Sure bets, right? Because then they're just going to look at, they're doing like the typical corporate thing is like, all right, go with the sure bets, stick with that, make your money, move on, whatever. They're not going to take any risks, which, by the way, probably chaps Phil's ass, because I know that he's really, dude, it must.
That is such a Gen X term that our dads taught us, right?
Yeah, but it really must. You know why? Because he was a huge advocate for interesting new IPs, interesting
let
ideas.
Them make their thing.
Artistic.
Yep.
Yeah, like let them make their thing, artistic expression. He talked about that for years when he took over Xbox.
Yet another thing that Phil has had to back out on, like his stance, like you said, is we want people to make the game that they want to make. We want to support them financially.
Yeah,
and now
yeah.
He's like, if it ain't Fallout and Call of Duty, we're not interested.
Yeah. Make Call of Duty and Candy Crush and shut up. But it's not him.
My fingers hurt.
It's what's that? Now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
He sounded like him.
Why, Mr. Gilmore? What a magnificent looking trophy.
You think that Mr. Lady? I think
he's got a boss, dude. She was no, sorry, I wasn't gonna spoil in case anybody hasn't seen the second one. Phil's got a boss too. And when the people above who have no hand in gaming, and they're like, so what's making us money? Call of Duty, Candy Crush, and whatever. Just keep doing that.
Fallout, Fallout, Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls, Gears of
Sea
War.
of Thieves, like a State of Decay on the chopping block. Like, I don't know, probably not. But
they were like, what about everybody else, sir? Feed him to the lions. And then Phil's got to go out there and say that. That sucks. But when he has had that email out there, and he talked about how they're going to focus on the games that are, they're basically going to make them money or whatever. Sure bets, as you had said. I think at that point, everybody had sort of suspected Contraband was going to be next on the list because they're going to start cutting losses and they're not going to spend 200 million, 150 million, 200 million, 250 million, whatever, and not have a surefire hit anymore because now they're not going to keep absorbing losses for artistic expression. Right?
Either will PlayStation or anyone else. Like, it's a multi-platform problem.
That's why indies will always have to be that place where you'll be able to do that. And you're going to have that situation where indies are going to be able to say, hey, I've got a cool concept. Let me do this, and I'm going to do it, and then fund it themselves or whatever, or get outside funding.
Those are the biggest hits right now. Expedition, Blueprints. That's my problem with Xbox saying we're going to really lean heavily into the sure thing. Then you miss the opportunity. Like, I don't know if Everwild was going to be that great. It was hard to get excited about it. But I'll tell you what. This isn't a super... Well, actually, this is a good example. When Grounded was revealed in 2019, I was so mad and so disappointed. It was right before Showcase. I was in LA. It leaked on my phone because everyone saw it. I'll get to the point. That picture of Max with a thumbs up, this corny cartoon picture, I'm like, this is not what Xbox needs. Xbox needs a mature, story-driven, blockbuster game, and they haven't had one in 10 years. And I was so angry that this little passion project, Grounded, is probably my absolute favorite game this entire generation. I was so wrong. And Xbox's approach to, thank you, Guri81 for adding me. Some of these studios, Mag, like maybe South of Midnight. South of Midnight didn't hit, but they had this quirky idea, and I think the game was pretty cool. It could have been much better. But we're going to miss out on those opportunities when Xbox is going to treat those with kid gloves. You know, Microsoft's going to look at these smaller games and go, we've been burned so many times. We're not going to... No. I don't know if that's how stringent they're going to be, but we could miss out.
I don't know. But, like, there's a lot of games, like, for example, that weren't massive hits that I really enjoyed. Like South of Midnight, I thought it was a great time. I enjoyed that game quite a bit. I played it 2.5 times, and I really had fun with it. But it didn't light the world on fire, right? It didn't set the world on fire. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But I really enjoyed it. And that kind of sucks that it's going to have to... it's going to have to be that way. Like, for example, Little Nightmares 3. Little Nightmares 1 and 2 are such strange, quirky, but amazing games that nobody would have funded these guys. Well, eventually EA did. But I'm just saying, like, it was one of those games that just, like, when they came out with this... I mean, when you look
at that, you're like, do you want to dump a bunch of money into that? Or, probably like...
No, people would be like, no, we don't want to dump money into that. And so it took the sales of the first game for someone to turn their head. Like, for example, Expedition 33, you will most likely not get a sequel to the game. There might be some kind of a spiritual successor or something like that in regards to a game like that, kind of like Returnal and Soros that's coming out. It's sort of like a spiritual sort of sequel or whatever, but like the same style but a different setting. And I could see them doing that. But guess what? That studio will get published by whoever the hell they want now, because when they win Game of the Year, people will be lining up. But the problem is that the bigger corporations are not going to turn their heads unless it turns a profit first.
So the problem isn't really the studios or what games they make. The problem is the huge conglomerate of corporate gaming and publishers are causing quite a big problem, because if a small studio can make something like Expedition or Little Nightmares or Blueprints, or even a smaller studio made Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it makes you wonder, where is the problem? Because some developers are working on games for 5 or 6 years, and I've heard that Xbox's new how do you say it? Operatus? What was the word? The Latin, like
modus operandi.
Modus operandi. Yeah, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I went to school once. Took me an extra year. That their mode is Xbox. I always go on a tangent. Xbox's mode is to no longer allow 5 to 6 year development. I don't know if that's true, but they're going to start squeezing them down, saying Thank you, Mac. Yeah, they have to.
We talked about this, and that's why AI is going to be implemented. Microsoft is doing it right now. They literally told them to their faces. They may as well have just said, "Hi, we're replacing you."
They didn't tell them they had AI tell them.
Yeah, they had AI tell them. But it's coming, and then like everybody else is going to follow suit. Why do you think all these big corporations have all been investing all their money into AI? It's to get rid of you because it's costing them too much money to make a game. You cannot take 6 years, 7 years, whatever, to make a game. Right? You can't do that at the... I don't know, that was really loud.
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
Yeah, thank you. Did you just hit the button or did I do it?
No, I never touched anything.
Someone said, "Did you try the lasagna?" in the chat, and I was hitting the button, and it did the Fallout repair sound, and then it worked.
Fallout repair sound is so effing loud, like it literally almost blew my eardrums out. But anyways, they're not going to do it anymore.
It was your brain trying to think of something. That's the sound it was.
It was. Yeah, that's pretty much what it sounded like. No, mine sounds like a
gerbil I'm sorry.
running on a wheel. Scared me. I'm scared. Anyways, they can't afford it. They can't afford it. They just don't want to afford it because they're like, listen, man, unless you're going to make us $1 billion, we're not giving you 6 years to make a game. No, not a chance in hell. Right? They're not going to do it anymore. They're going to start cutting losses, and then they're going to start cutting people, and then they're going to have AI just start shooting out games like you know what I mean? Like the girl at the basketball game that shoots out the t-shirts out of the bazooka. Thunk, there's a game. Thunk, there's a game.
Dude, at the Mariners games, they started doing this thing where they take hot dogs, cooked hot dogs in the little paper boat, and they tie a little plastic parachute, and they toss them out from the upper rafters, and they float down, and you try to catch them. It's amazing. It's better than the t-shirt thing.
Well, you know what's even better? What they're throwing on the courts at the WNBA games. If you know, you know.
The crowd's throwing stuff into and it's actually hitting the hoop. I want to move to the.
Someone made a joke because you know one of the guys got arrested. The guy got arrested for the one who actually hit the player with the foreign object. And the first comment that I saw was is that bro got arrested for being the most accurate thrower in the WNBA.
Ace Ventura's monkey says, "That's gross. Do you eat the hot dog?" It's wrapped in, like, they make the hot dog and then they have it in a plastic wrap and then they lob it. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. Which I need to go to a game. I haven't gone in 2 years.
Holy crap, dude! My wife's in the chat.
Oh, awesome! Hey, it's good to see you. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
And thank you for going through everything and coming out ready to go. We appreciate you. And
she's alive.
You put Mag through too much. He can't handle it.
I can handle it. If she acts up, you know.
She acts up, she's gonna put me in a chokehold. Yeah,
I might have to throw one of those WNBA objects at her.
I'm gonna Google that later.
Anyways,
not right now. But
dude, we'll talk about it off the air. I can't talk about it in the air because it's
okay. GameSpot put out an article the other day, and it's part of the reason why we have the thumbnail that says unstable. But they said Xbox is increasingly an unstable platform for anyone to invest in. They got community noted on Twitter, and I thought I would run through a couple of these things because you and I have talked about, we were just finishing talking about some of the things that Xbox needs to course correct, and them saying, hey, if you're not a big franchise, F you. But this article got absolutely lambasted. The writer, which will not be named, has made several hit pieces and doesn't really like Xbox that much. But this comes hot on the heels of the layoffs that you and I talked about a month ago. But, the cancellation of games, Contraband just got canceled. They go back and say, they canceled a game at Blizzard, and they continually compare things to PlayStation. Interestingly enough, PlayStation has canceled more games and more studios than Xbox, but PlayStation is doing really well. But PlayStation is also making major changes. The stability of Xbox is really not in question. Are they going to make hardware? Laura Fryer, the former developer at Xbox and Microsoft, was lambasting Xbox a month ago. Turns out that video she made kind of didn't really age all that well. And that blue number made a great, retrospective opinion piece about that. Great video. Go watch that on her channel. But Laura Fry's like, they're going to leave the console business. They're going to leave the hardware business. Xbox is feet first, head first. They're breach first into the hardware business. They have a first-party console coming in 2027. In 2026, they might have their OEM consoles. They'll move forward with other people making consoles, which will support your entire library. They're making a handheld. They may make their own. They may not even need to once they get native support. They're upgrading the cloud. They're making sure your games library is going with you into the future. Developers that used to put their games only on PlayStation are putting their games on Xbox more and more. And Capcom and Square Enix and these other developers are not forgetting that Xbox has over 30 million consoles. It's one of those things that's been going on. And as someone who owns 1,000 games on Xbox, hey, what's going to happen to my library? Sounds like it's pretty secure. But I don't know, Mag. Developers. Somebody says in the chat. Yeah, there you go.
The only thing that really is unstable is my mental health. But I mean, not really Xbox. It's just my personal mental health is unstable. But everything else, no, Xbox will be doing just fine.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody with any kind of level head would say it's over, they're gone, whatever. They've made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. They will continue making mistakes. However, they're making money. They will do whatever they need to do to continue to make money. They're not going to get rid of the brand as they're still making billions of dollars. So they're not making what Sony does. They're not making what Nintendo does. But it doesn't matter. You don't have to be successful and to continue to have a successful business. This mentality of we have to make more than everybody else. And I'm not talking about the corporations. I'm talking about like the fans. I'm like, don't worry about it. What you should be focusing on as a fan, if you're a fan of the ecosystem or your friends or whatever else, and the games and maybe Game Pass, whatever you're interested in, you should be focusing on: is it successful enough to continue that I may continue to be part of this community? That's all you should really be concerned about, right? So like when I think about for example, games, I look at games and I'm like, I really need this game to hit because I love the studio and I love the games that they make, and I want to see them do another game down the road. So I will always get to see another game from them. And that's what I'm concerned about. I'm not going to dissect every dollar and saying, oh my God, Gearbox made $14 million less than fill in the blank. I can't have that. And then argue with people online. That's what people are doing. And and even Phil Spencer himself said it last year or 2 years ago, whatever it was. And he's like, we're not going to out console Sony or whatever else, but they're going to do what they're going to do. And so their roadmap is going to be what it is. If it's successful for them, great. But they're always going to make money. They're going to make their billions of dollars, and they're going to be happy about it. They're going to be fine. They're going to live in their Malibu houses on the bloody ocean and this and that and enjoy their lives. And then you got the people bickering underneath. Listen, man, just focus on, are you getting new hardware? Are you getting better tech? Are you getting games? And are you happy with the services they provide? Stop there and just enjoy it.
Or did that game do well enough that it'll get a sequel because I really enjoyed the first one?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was talking about. Like, for example, I was terrified that Little Nightmares 2 wasn't going to do well enough. Turns out it did fantastic. And they made a Little Nightmares 3 with an even bigger budget. And, oh my God, did you hear that the game is co-op this year?
Oh.
For the first time?
Yeah, yes. I played it with my kid, and we were taking turns playing it because it's only, single player.
Single player. Not anymore. The new one is going to be online co-op and cross-platform with Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Are you effing kidding me? Right?
Oh, and this is Little Nightmares 2, you had that little kid with you, and you had to kind of work with them, but it was AI driven, I think, right?
Yes, it was AI driven. Yes, but this one is actually online co-op, so you have to actually play with a friend. Anyway, the point of that story is that if the ecosystems are doing well, the games are doing well enough to be able to afford a sequel or new hardware or to keep their services going, that's all you should concern yourself about. On that note, I could say that Microsoft and Xbox are not going anywhere. Their strategies will change. Things will change. Maybe they, I know you're saying that there's going to be first-party hardware. I'm not 100% certain about that just yet. I still think they're going to outsource the third party. Yes,
they're
Mr.
going to do
Eastwood
both.
in the front. Yeah,
They'll do both.
Okay, so they're going to do both. All right, so Colt is saying both, and I trust Colt Eastwood on that. So then, if they're going to do both, then they're going to do both. If that's the route they're going to take, who cares? As long as you're getting something you want to pay. I don't know how the prices are going to be, but like this is all something that you have to look at later on.
I think they have to do
yourself.
their first. They have to do their first party console in 2027, no matter what, because that is the ligament to all of your games on Xbox Live, dating back as far as they cover with Back and Pat, and they can't just kill that off. Not at this stage. So, I think their plan is to build the next generation Xbox until full circle, all of their supported devices can play all of your native games, or at least the entitlement of them. And once that happens, I can see the future of this console comes out. It can last 6 to 8 years. If in between that time somewhere, you can play a Asus Xbox PC hybrid and all of your games are compatible, Xbox doesn't have to make a console. From then on, they can say, we're going to let other people make them and we will fully support them with all of your games, all of your progress, your achievements, your live friends, everything. But until that happens, Xbox cannot leave the console market, and they will not, because according to an expert I talked to, Xbox Live and their console division is integral to the lifeblood of how they make money in the gaming division. And without it, they can't, Game Pass doesn't survive. It's all, it's so funny. It's like the Game Pass is not sustainable or profitable. It's like, this is all like tied together. The sinew of it was what makes Xbox thrive and make a ton of revenue every year. Someone in the chat says that Xbox makes more revenue than Nintendo. I think Nintendo still has, somebody told me that Xbox does make more revenue than Nintendo, but Nintendo might make more profit. They might have better profit margins, but we'll never know because Xbox doesn't report it.
What I'm thinking is, and this is something I understand, like, as long as the businesses are sustainable and will continue to carry on, as like I said, I don't understand this hyper focus and this obsession with trying to be number one out of like this and that. We got to dominate.
It's tribalism.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
We got to dominate PlayStation. We got to dominate Xbox. And I'm like, what's the point? Just is there enough money to be made that we're going to get to continue our stuff? Yes. Okay. Well, then that should be enough for everybody. That being the case,
you want to hear
Xbox
the harsh reality?
Is not going anywhere. They're not going to win nothing. Yes. What's up?
The harsh reality. This is rude to say. Some people that tie their W or their win to a winning corporation or a team, part of that is because they feel like they're not winning at home or personally. And I've seen that too.
Yeah. There's got to be something to that. It can be pretty
deep. It can be pretty deep. Like, I'm on the winning team.
Something to that.
PlayStation's number one. We sell more consoles. When PlayStation is literally telling you right now, consoles are not the measure of success. They've been saying it for 5 years. But now people are listening because, what was the name of? Shuhei Yoshida said it in 2018, and you guys didn't listen because Sean Layden was running PlayStation forward-facing, and then Jim Ryan took over. And now Hiroki Totoki and the leadership at Sony and PlayStation are saying monthly active users, a little water, monthly active users are the measure we are looking for success. And they're getting dominated by Xbox. So I could say, Xbox number one, 500 monthly users versus PlayStation at 200, we win. But the sad reality is people use that, they wave that flag like, I won something. I am on a team that wins. Maybe at work, I don't win. Jerry has got the promotion. I don't know. It's kind of, it's nonsense, but it could also be fun. Like, I want the Mariners to be number one. And when they lose, it's like, I get super bummed out. And then the Blue Jays will murder them.
But dude, the whole point of sporting, I know it's always actually good to like, to be able to compare the two because it's very similar in certain aspects, like of competition. However, in sporting events, the literal goal of the game is to win, right? Whereas these guys, their literal goal is to turn a profit, right? It's not the corporations are not thinking the same way. They're looking for personal growth. They're looking for revenue, they're looking for profit, and they're looking to continue forward, right? And grow their stock and everything else. Yes, they're looking across the pond to see what the other guys are doing. Obviously, that's part of the game too. But you would actually be quite amazed to know that they're actually not really in direct competition with each other the way people think. And the reason why is because I think people attribute it very much to like a sports team, whereas in fact, they are not. They look at them and say, okay, what are they doing over there? Are they taking anything away from us or whatever? But in the end, they're looking internally for, like I said, growth, profit, and continuation of their product moving forward. Those are the focuses. And as a consumer, your focuses shouldn't even be any of that. Your focus is, number one, should be, are you having fun? Because you're paying your money for their product. They're not giving you this stuff for free. They're not like handing it to you going, here you go, here's a treat, sweetie. No, you're paying your hard-earned money that you go to work for every day. And you hook yourself on the street corner, lifting your skirt up, or you're on OnlyFans, or you have a job at a factory, like, you know what I mean? Or whatever you do for a living. You work in an office, and whatever you do, this is your money. So, like, number one, are you having fun and are you satisfied with the product they're providing you? If the answer is yes to both of those, you are winning as a consumer. So it shouldn't matter where you're doing it. It's gotten to the point now where I'm talking. What's he saying?
Nighthawk says Xbox is cool, but it seems like they're abandoning the brand. They are. Well, the brand is huge. Look. They are. It's laser focused to games, a subscription, and playing on their devices. Like they're letting you play games on PlayStation. That's our next topic here. They're letting you play their games on PlayStation, but Xbox is the brand. Xbox is one of the biggest gaming brands next to PlayStation, Nintendo. They are the thing. Their consoles are way in third place, but they're growing exponentially right now. And those reports that we talked about last week with Paris, like, they can be very dull to talk about, but no, Xbox is growing big, and the games are bigger. There's more games than ever before. I want to talk to you, Meg. I want to shift gears about the strategy. Detective Seeds, a known leaker, a mutual friend of you and I, said that he's talking to someone at on the inside, either connected to Nixxes or Insomniac, who says that PlayStation's strategy moving forward might be to have a deadline for PlayStation to get their games on PC within 6 months after the game launches. Before I ask you that, everyone kind of looks at it like, the new idea is that Xbox games, or the new idea is that PlayStation will be on PC within 6 months instead of 14 months or 2 years. But I look at that like, you have 6 months to get your game on PC. So what that may mean is when you're making a game for PlayStation, you need to be making the PC port alongside it and launch it very soon or within 6 months. And I wonder how that'll all go down. The other question is, we got to talk about the other platforms. So let's start by talking about the PC thing, because there's a lot to unpack. And what's going on with PlayStation and PC versions? What's that?
Okay. No, I was going to say, they say we have a lot to unpack, and then you walked away. And I'm like, and there he goes. He just left the show. We have a lot to unpack, but I'm leaving.
It's all yours. You took the week off, you lazy... Yeah, I'm out of here.
It's pretty simple to unpack here. What they're going to do is that in order to maintain optimum quality for the console, which will still be a focus, and it's still a focus for them. Mm-hmm. It's still going to be a primary focus for them. PlayStation 6 will be. PlayStation 5 still is now in a Pro. Their goal is to still hit that 100 million and then start hammering software after that. The bigger hardware. Software. If anybody thinks that's a mystery, I literally see the same thing happening every generation where they're like, PlayStation's not releasing anything the first 4 years, and I'm like, yeah, because they're waiting to hit that $100 million console mark, and then the second half of the generation they start dropping those bombs of the big games, whatever, and that's what's clearly happening once again, starting this year and then into next year and then whatever else. What they're going to do is they're going to have your teams like Nixxes working alongside it. So what's going to happen? Let's say Insomniac is making their next Venom game. Insomniac will be hyper-focused on only getting that game on the PlayStation 5 and the Pro. They are not working on development for the PC. So why? So that's why their games look and play so incredibly well. There's very few bugs right out the gate, whatever else. They're playing at an optimum level because they're focusing on the single console. Nixxes, on the other hand, who was literally purchased to strictly work in tandem with these studios to make the PC ports to varying degrees of success, and that they will be focusing on doing that. Timelines, yes. If that is indeed true, that that's going to happen, then what's going to happen is that they are going to be working side by side, not together, but side by side. It'll be co-developed, very similar to what Xbox started doing with Project Latitude when they had switched their focus from release it on Xbox and then 6 months to 7 months later we'll release a PlayStation version. The other games coming forward will release day one, and the reason for that is because now that they've caught up to their vision of what they want to do with their games, now they're going to be co-developing the games together, and therefore they'll be able to release on multiple consoles and of course the PC at the same time. And that's exactly what PlayStation may, or they will do it. I just don't know how long in between, PlayStation release and PC release. If the game is a massive banger, let's say, and it's a 10 out of 10 and it can't be ignored or whatever else, then people will buy it on that console. They'll be like, I don't want to wait 6 months. I don't want to wait a year. I want to play it today. And so people will get those consoles, if that is indeed the case. We'll have to see how that works out. If Seeds is saying it, I know he's got a lot of people inside on PlayStation. Mm-hmm. So, and he's a lot of people he talks to. And I've crossed paths with the people he's talked to, have crossed my path too, so I do know some of those people as well. Just not as extensive as he does. When the PS5 Pro came out, they gave him one for free, for crying out loud. So, you know what I mean? So he does know people, but we shall see. If that is indeed the case, then yes, they will have to do that. If they step up. Now, the other thing is, too, is a lot of people don't realize it's not like PlayStation releases a first-party game every month or every 2 months or every 3 months where they have to hire other studios. Generally speaking, outside of the third-party games that they get timed exclusivity or just straight-up exclusivity with, are not even being made by their own studios. Right? They're, as they say, money hatting those games. They don't need to. Like Lost Souls Aside comes out, what, in 2 weeks? They didn't have to make it. Stellar Blade, they didn't have to make it. You know what I mean? The other companies, Square Enix with the Final Fantasy games, PlayStation didn't have to make those games. So it's not. If you actually look at what games were made in house this year, what else
really,
outside of Ghost of Yotei?
What's the difference? Like, PlayStation Studios make games. PlayStation doesn't make those, the studios do, but PlayStation has to bear the burden of the publishing, which means they have to manage the budget and pay those employees.
Oh, no. That's not what I was getting at. I was getting at Nixxes will not be overloaded with too much work because really outside of Ghost of Yotei, you see what I'm saying? Outside of Ghost of Yotei,
their first party projects are 1 to 2 a year. Yeah, sure. Yeah, good.
Right?
Their first party studio projects. Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. Sorry, I didn't make myself entirely clear. What I was getting at is that
thank you.
They wouldn't have to buy another studio and another studio and another studio to try and keep up with an avalanche of first-party games.
Like I said,
had that. Yeah.
Why aren't those studios doing their own PC ports? They're literally developing the game on a PC. Like, why can't they make PC port?
That is a funny thing too. I've thought about that as well. I'm like, well, they're developing it on the PC.
Everybody else does. Right?
Colt, I'm not a developer. I'm not
either, but I mean, if there's 300 studios out there that make all the mainstream games and 25 of them are PlayStation studios, those are the only ones that don't make a PC port alongside all of Xbox studios, all of EA, all of Ubisoft, all of Tencent, all of those every studio on the planet, besides Nintendo, I guess. I mean, there's a large chunk, I would say 3/4 of the studios that make video games as we know it, that are on console, always make a PC version. I mean, I don't know. I said this last week with Paris. It's funny that PlayStation's like, well, we don't have to make a PC port because, Insomniac's like, our game will never come to PC. And then 3 years later, we're making, and Nixxes is working on the PC port. Never say never. The next thing that people really want to know is, you and I have a gentleman's bet we made probably 2 months ago. You said, Colt, once a first-party studio single-player game comes to Xbox console, then you win the bet,
Yes.
and we're not there yet. You playing devil's advocate, tell people what would be the most likely single-player game that PlayStation would say, all right, you can have a little morsel. Which one would lose your bet for you?
Oh, you're saying like what? You know what it'd be? It'd be Days Gone.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Why? Tell
Why
us
not?
why.
Why not?
It's a great game.
I don't know. It seems like it's a great game. I love that game. I even paid for the the PS5 Pro remaster, whatever the hell it is. The upgrade. I paid the extra money for that. It was, but anyways, I can't see them doing it. Well, but you know what though? I can't say. Forget it. I'm taking everything. I'm taking everything I just said back because
What?
you could use any game if you were to just
I was asking you. What game would you put on if you were PlayStation? Like Mag is now the head of PlayStation. They brought Mag in.
Oh
He's
God,
King Pony, and they're like, you have such
King
a great
Pony
platinum. If you were going to be the Mr. Business guy, Mr. Businessman, and they're like Mag, the great Mag. What game do you want us to put on the Xbox console that will make us the most bang for the buck?
So they come to me and they're like, okay, King Pony, you have to pick one game to go to PlayStation, or sorry, to Xbox. You pick that game. What I would do if I was put in that position and you're saying, okay, what game, you have to pick one that go to Xbox.
Wait, would you also be head chef as well as head of PlayStation?
Obviously. I'd be cooking while they're asking me these questions. What I would do, how would you like your eggs while I'm answering the question?
We just didn't know what game it is, and you're like, would you like them sunny side up?
Yeah.
You like lasagna?
It's wrong.
It's burned.
It's burned. God. Yeah. What I'm thinking is this: whatever next franchise game is coming up next for PlayStation, I would put the previous game on the Xbox. Like, for example, if God of War Egypt is the next big game, I would put God of War 1 and 2, and what I mean by that is God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. I would put those two as a little package deal. You buy them for $70. No, I charge $80. You $80, and you get
for both of them
games in a package. The God of War collection, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, I would give
or the Kratos and Atreus show. That's what you call it.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. And then I would do that. Why? Because then it'll be like, hi, did you enjoy that?
Did you like that?
And then they reel you in and go buy a PS6. So you can play God of War 6 or God of War Egypt on there. If Last of Us 3 was the next big game that they're coming out with, I would say, okay, guys, let's do a Last of Us collection. Charge $80. You're gonna put it on the Xbox and this and that. By the way, did you enjoy that? And then they reel you in and go buy yourself a PS6 if you want to play Part 3. That's what I would do. If you were putting me in that position, I would, whatever the next big tent pole is, and if it has a pedigree and a past, I would put those past titles up there to get you to come over and say, here's your PS6 version.
Okay, I'm going to say this, and I'll be on record, that PlayStation will put a single player game on the Xbox console after Helldivers 2. I will put that on record. I will stand by that. And it may be small. It may be small, and like I said a couple weeks ago, maybe it's Returnal, and you get people excited about Saurus. Saurus? Right? That's how you say it?
I think it's Saurus, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say Solus, but
Tyrannosaurus.
Megasaurus. So, I believe that's going to happen, and once they do, if it's something as small as Returnal, or it's something as old as Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, I will win this bet. And since I'm not a betting man,
you won't
owe me anything. You won't owe me anything. But the funny thing is the way that you and I are, Mag. If that happens, we will sit here and celebrate that more people get to play an amazing game that I don't know why you didn't ever play. The Nathan Drake collection of games back, or if you didn't play the trilogy, you missed out. If you didn't play Returnal and you like roguelites, you'll have your opportunity, and we'll absolutely celebrate it because As I say,
Doesn't bother me.
exclusivity is dissolving, and franchises of games and gamers will all benefit from it. PlayStation will do it very slowly because Herman Holtz just said a couple months ago in June in their business update that looked strangely like the Xbox update. 4 people sitting at a couch trying to gingerly let their fans know that they're going more multi-platform. He said that we're looking at strategies to make sure the console is important, like Mag said, but also to bring their games to other platforms. And I was like, oh, other platforms, these PCs. Like, no, they're already doing that. They've been doing other platforms on PC since 2020. So Herman Holtz and Hiroki Totoki are definitely looking at very carefully selecting games to come to Xbox. But the funny thing about very carefully is just put Spider-Man. Yeah. Just put Spider-Man 2018 remaster on there. Take that remaster, make an Xbox version, and just rake in so much money. But they have to be careful.
Well, they would do that, Colt, but you know what? I actually, if I were to pick one, I would pick that right now. Like, if they say you have to do it tomorrow, okay? I'm like, all right, I have to pick one by tomorrow. I would pick Spider-Man, and the reason why is because they got Venom in 26 coming to PlayStation, and Wolverine coming to PlayStation in 27. Sorry, 26.
Yeah, the Marvel sandwich.
Right? And so, therefore, you'd be like, hi, did you enjoy that? Come and buy a console.
This
like doesn't affect me. Yeah. Do you like that? Yeah. Do you like that? I don't care because I'm always going to own a PlayStation. I'm always going to own an Xbox in some form of or fashion. And clearly, I'm going to own some form of a Nintendo, even though I had no intention of buying it, but the trade-in was too good. So I own a Nintendo now. So I'll always own something. And so when the game comes out on PlayStation, it's no skin off my back that I'm just going to turn it on, buy the game day one on PlayStation, and play it. And that's the way I do it. But if other people get to do it, who cares? What is a PlayStation going to like nosedive off a cliff tomorrow? They're still going to sell 100 million PS6s. Don't fool yourself.
Or at least, at least close to 80 million, if not 100 million. The funny thing about all this, PlayStation can't lose. They can push more multi-platform. They can have their cake and eat it too. I fully believe that PlayStation can continue to sell consoles really well. And they can sell the occasional game across multi-platform or go closer to PC day and date. And I think they can still continue to sell both at the same time. But the way that the economy has shifted for gaming, that PlayStation knows they have to do both because they can't just leave that money on the table. They're not dying. They're not starving. Their numbers are incredible. Their report was way more glowing than Xbox's. But
they're fine.
Management at Sony's like, why are you leaving money on the table? You guys can absolutely do both. You can do what Xbox does, plus you can dominate as PlayStation does. Paris and Chess says, give it up, Xbox. Xbox is dead.
Yeah, Paris. By the way, Joe Dunmore, the name that I haven't seen in so long, has made his triumphant return to the XNC chat, and he says, because he has many inside sources, I know as a fact, PlayStation is putting Concord on Xbox day one.
Oh, good idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a fact. Confirmed. That is exactly what's happening. It is confirmed here that Concord will be the first game going to Xbox from PlayStation. It is going to be the Trojan horse that we all thought it would be.
And we'll magically love it. Like PlayStation guys will magically love Starfield when that port comes to their console.
So when do you think that's happening? September?
Like around April, March or April or something, I think.
Oh, crap.
We don't know,
okay.
but
so
I think so.
I did hear a new report that they said they was going to launch alongside the DLC for the I was going to launch alongside when they complete the DLC for the Xbox PC version.
I don't know if there's like actually any leaks about the Starborn DLC release date and the PlayStation port, but no, September made the most sense, but we're almost there and there's no announcement. And unless Gamescom's like, Starborn's coming out next month and the PlayStation port, which actually might work because a really short announcement to release would work to kind of like energize Starfield and just get people to buy it immediately based off of seeing the trailer fresh. But I've got something really special in the works with Red Wolf if that announcement comes soon. So if Starfield gets an meaningful announcement in a week or two at Gamescom, watch my channel. You're going to love this. Watch Red Wolf's channel. This video is coming together so beautifully. Paris, I wanted to let you know that I got quite a few comments. People were like, make Paris on the show more often. So I'll reach out to you every once in a while. I loved having you on, and it'd be great to have you on here with Mag again in the near future. We had a ton of fun. Yeah. I got to read these supers. We got Andy Hart goes, with the $2 says, Mag can Switch 2 play Nintendo 64 games with emulation.
I don't know. I haven't even looked into it that far.
Okay.
I will take a look, and I mean, you could probably find the answer faster than me by Googling it, but I'd have to check. I haven't dove into any of that because I was just trying to negotiate the new console, figure it out. I created a whole new profile, so I'm starting with I Am the Mag, so that I would be across the board the same name for everything. So like just trying to, you know what I mean, just trying to like synchronize everything together, so there was no confusion. So I started from scratch. I did all that. Had to do a whole new Nintendo account. All that,
Bro,
all that jazz.
I've been Colt Eastwood since 1994, and Colt Eastwood is my first email account, and it's Colt Eastwood on Xbox and PlayStation. And when I made my Steam account in 2015, some guy's name was Colt Eastwood, had my name, all one word, Colt Eastwood. I was so mad because I was getting into PC gaming with the whole setup, and I messaged the guy, can you change your name? He's like, F you.
You want me to deal with him? I'll deal with him.
Yeah, can you,
hey, man, I'm playing Mafia. I'll take care of it.
I know.
Listen,
I saw your ancestors when I was playing the game. Yeah,
exactly. I got someone in the chat here. You got to help this guy out, okay?
Okay.
His name is P Draggy, PDRAGY, and he puts in the chat, "I'm never offline. I just have no friends."
Wait, where?
I want everybody in the chat. He's in
Where
the.
is
it's
he?
way up there. It's way up in the chat.
Okay,
I don't want to pin it because I don't want to embarrass the poor guy.
Well, you
I
just
can't
called
do
him
that
out.
because it's not my. No. But he said I'm never
I'm just
offline.
kidding.
I just have no friends, dude. We gotta help this guy out, man.
Yeah,
P Draggy,
you-
does that how you say your name?
Yeah,
everybody, Adam.
Spell his name out so we can look him up.
Capital B, capital P, DRAGY. There it
Okay,
is.
I don't think he's here right at this moment, but yes, go add
we're
him
gonna-
on Xbox.
Go at him, man. I want this guy to wake up tomorrow morning to like 500 new friends. How many? Like, can you imagine how awesome that would be for him?
That would be pretty cool.
That'd be so dope, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that for this guy. By the way,
speaking of good friends
Yeah,
that
go
you
ahead.
should always support and follow on Twitter and Xbox is Yodana Quezada, Neo Nuke on Xbox. He says, "What do Mag and Adams have in common?
oh, hardy har har,
They make up everything."
hardy har har.
Mag's got an
be
extra
sure to-
electron because he lies about everything. Yeah. Mac, thanks for the
my
$2
goodness.
super chat. My backlog is stupid. Hashtag contraband. I don't care. Sorry. I was kind of getting that way too, but less games kind of sucks. But KY Bob, my good friend from Game Set Live, Wednesday night podcast. You got to check him out. He says, not gaming related, but I have been on a nostalgia trip today. Oh my gosh. He goes, this is one of my favorite karaoke songs from Bed of Roses by Bon Jovi. And he names another, like, this is my guilty pleasure song. I'm not a big Bruce Springsteen fan really at all, but Dancing in the Dark is one of my favorite tunes, and I don't know why. I just love it. He says, we really did grow up in the golden age of music. Great show, guys. And the best part is if you grew up in the 80s, you also got to experience the 90s and everything afterward. So you can't lose. Game Seeker, thank you so much for 5 channel memberships gifted. Appreciate your unyielding graciousness. I can't think. You guys are amazing. Andy Hart with the £5 says, many say Xbox, Microsoft were the ahead of the curve with the Xbox One. They took a massive leap, but Sony always has been forward thinking. Xbox notoriously, thank you, Andy. Xbox notoriously just does all this stuff that's like, this will be cool right now, and the world's not ready for it because we all have devices that we can talk to. And Xbox said that in 2013. Hey, talk to your Xbox. We were like, no, I'm scared. It'll see me in my underwear. KY Bob, thanks again for the 5. Says, it's all BS. Whenever any game, any service, or any platform does good, all gamers win. This tribalism has to stop. Please, gamers, break the mold. Thank you so much. Andy Hart with the 2.
Right.
The main problem with Xbox is their marketing. That was messy.
They have a hard time. It's not even just their marketing, it's their messaging is just so bad. They just suck at it. And you know the thing is, they suck at it so bad. Like, listen, I'll do it for free.
You
and just be like,
I made that joke, and they're like,
for free. I'll be like, I know. Listen, I'll just be like, listen, man, let me show you, idiots, how it's done. How much you getting paid? And I'm like, I'll do it for a stack of pancakes like Shooter McGavin. Give me that. Some melted butter and some syrup.
He's like,
I'll show you how it's done.
We'll get you a fresh stack when you get back.
Yeah, we'll get you a fresh stack when we get back. What a bunch of clowns. Sniper's Eye, thank you. And Ed9000 both added me on PlayStation. And I got Finished Raptor just added me on Xbox as well. So, holy mackerel. What a night, man. What a night.
That is awesome. That is awesome. BT Maverick, thanks for the 5. Those next-gen PlayStation games will be on Steam in 6 months, which means they will be on the next Xbox in 6 months with their hybrid PC console.
Essentially, yes. Essentially, if they go that route, if they go that Windows 11 route, then that's exactly what it's going to be. So you're not getting it on an Xbox per se. You're getting the PC version accessible through an Xbox if it indeed is going to be the Windows 11 device it's going to be. And that's it is what it's going to be.
And the next consoles sound really powerful, like more than we thought the current ones would be. So it'll be a good thing.
You ain't getting no Game Pass though, so you're paying $70, $80 most likely next gen. So you know, buckle up. So it is what it's going to be.
I think that PlayStation's, if the 6 months to a PC port is true, PlayStation's probably looked at the numbers and they're like, 6 months doesn't do anything. Like, we're still selling consoles, we're still selling the console game, and then we get the fire of the PC gamers who will, they can't lose. I really think they can't lose.
Call of Duty was on Game Pass, and 85% of sales were on the PlayStation. Okay? That's all I got to say. Yeah. They didn't even own the game. They didn't even do the marketing for it, and they still sold 85% of the copies of the game that were sold, obviously, not on the subscription
this one
service,
they finally didn't do the marketing. They've done it every other year.
So what skin off it's no skin off their back either. They're making billions. Dazed and Confused 72 just added me on PlayStation as well. PlayStation is starting to catch up, but not even close to Xbox. Are
you getting that one on your phone? Because I don't have notifications.
No, I got it on my phone.
Oh, yeah, I don't have notifications on for that app.
Imits Finn?
It's a lonely
Is that
station.
a new one? Imits Finn? Imits Finn. My God, the name is so complicated. He just added me on Xbox. And, of course, Finished Raptor just added me on Xbox. Man, it is a wild night, but either way.
Last one is P Lump with a $5 super. Thank you, P Lump. Saw you last week. Says, Paris 2 is in the building. Now play my damn theme song. I don't know what your theme song is. Hopefully it's
we'll just make one up.
It's the Saboteur theme song from the Saboteur game because it takes place in Paris. That would be his theme song. Yeah, that was a great game. Oh, it was wonderful. You played Saboteur, didn't you? The one where it's black and white and you liberate the Nazis out of there and then the world turns to color.
Then it turns the color. Yeah. I remember
Classic.
That. As soon as you said the name, I'm just like, what are we
The
talking
Saboteur.
about? And I'm like,
and he's Irish. Yeah, he's an Irish guy. Sean Devlin.
Very cool concept.
Sean Devlin.
Very cool concept. Very similar to, not similar, but like a cool concept, very much like that Contrast. Do you remember that game Contrast?
Yeah,
from... who the hell made them?
Compulsion.
Compulsion, Compulsion.
The South of Midnight team.
Yeah. Very cool. I love that. A platformer that utilizes shadows. Are you kidding me? That was so cool.
Yeah, you go into 2D for the shadow. I only played it a little bit. You loved that one.
Oh,
it's been amazing.
That game so much.
I am going on vacation tomorrow. We're leaving for the beach, so no new content. Gamescom is coming up the next week after that. So I am working in the background tonight and tomorrow on a big Starfield video. I can't wait. If you haven't thought about Starfield in a while, you're going to absolutely love this. Mag, tell everybody where they can find you and where they can follow you like they've been doing all night and what you have in the pipeline because life has kind of gotten in the way.
It certainly did. And I hit a few snags along the way, but I've ironed them out for the channel. There was a couple of monetization issues with like tax forms and stuff like that. I'm like, I didn't see that. So so they're like, we demonetized you, and I'm like, what? And then I had to go back and fix a bunch of stuff. So and of course this all landed at the same time that I spent most of the week before in the hospital, and then last week I was away. So anyways, I am back. And I am back. I did a video of myself with no shirt on, by the way. That was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah, I loved it.
A video.
It was down so a little bit more, and we could have saw some nip, but it was still a good video.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. What's up, Alex? With your banana suit.
Yeah. Watch that, Alex. Yeah.
No, it's actually,
he has to wear the banana suit because he was getting demonetized for having a bare chest on the video.
Oh, was he really?
So now it's the banana suit. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to find my own suit. And then some people are like, "Can you and Alex
suit?"
Cucumber suit. Some people are like, "Can you and Alex just do a shirtless podcast?" It's just like as a one-off. And I'm like, "I'm in, man. Let's do it." And they're like, "Swole Mag versus Alex." Anyways,
eggplant Mag and banana hammock Alex. Yeah,
eggplant Mag and banana Alex.
Shout out to DeMarco dude in the chat as well. Go check out DeMarco dude's channel too. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes. Madcast will be back on tomorrow. I'll just be on for about 45 minutes or so. And then I'm going to start live streaming again. I'm going to start dropping videos again. I'm back home and I'm in my studio. So the channel will be up and running and firing on all cylinders. And I've got something new in the works. You'll hear about it in the next week or so for the channel. It's going to be very exciting, but you go check it out, The Mag Show. You will see, of course, one of our mods will put the link in the chat. And then, of course, it's in the description below. Go check out the channel. Help me out. Get this thing up and running. And I've got a hell of a great idea coming up for a new thing that I'm working on starting. Not this week. It'll be sometime next week. I'll drop my first video. So it's going to be exciting. But either way, Mag Show is in the house. It's ready, full cylinders. Let's rock. Either way, I will not be here next week. I have an out-of-town obligation as Colt is coming back from his vacation, but I will be here 2 weeks tonight, and then I'll be back permanently, and there'll be no more running away from Colteastwood. So it is what it's going to be.
So on that note, when the show is done, come back and leave a comment that stays forever, not the live chat. Leave a comment on who you'd like to see guest with me next week in place of Mag, and we'll set something up and see what we can do. Thank you, everybody. We're going to get out of here, and thanks for supporting. Hit the like button on the way out, and tell you, Donna Kizada and Happy Bomb, thank you so much for being amazing mods, keeping everybody engaged, having fun, and smiling and everything else. Your support's amazing. Thank you for all you do. Mag, I'm glad to have you back. It feels so great, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Man. All right.
Yes.
We're out of here.
Good night, everyone.
See ya.